Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, Dudwainiyal. Welcome back to an episode of Somali Speakers. And I'm with my lovely sister, Dooms. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Come on, it's always a pleasure. Sister Dooms is a sister from North America, aka Canada. I thought I might as well bring her along with this conversation. And this conversation is about the recent. First things first, let's start with Inna Lillahi wa Inna Raji'un. Allah yarhamar rahimin. And that goes out to the family that this atrocity happened to. We want to speak about this. We want to speak about the infamous slap as well, and we're going to speak about the rise of Islamophobia as well, from all different part of aspects. We've got a lot of guests coming in. Let me just put out the link in the chat for some of the brothers and sisters that want to join us. So welcome to Somali Speakers, and if this is your first time, Fadlan, please like and subscribe and share and like. This is Somali Speakers. My sister Dooms, and this story, it kind of reminded me of a deja vu. I saw an incident like this happen in North London recently. This was a couple of years ago near Finsbury Park. And when I saw this, I thought to myself, Inna Lillahi, and I saw a profound statement on one of the sisters from Instagram. She said, imagine waking up to, because I'm hearing there's a kid in the coma. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Muhammad in the build. And it's kind of shocking. It's kind of I saw a statement. Imagine waking up out of a coma and knowing all your family's gone. And
Wow.
I thought to myself, wow. We've got a video of it. We've got the video of the incident that could give us more details. But Sister Fatima, you're from London. Is it London, Ontario?
Yes, not London, UK. London, Ontario, where this incident occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard the news, actually, the way that I found out was on Facebook. I follow. I don't know if you know Omar Suleiman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So I follow his page, and he had posted about what happened. So I'm reading the story and everything, and I see my city, London, Ontario, and then I checked the news, and we were all shocked, like completely shocked. But after speaking to some of my friends and people in the community, they were saying that London is actually like known for this. Like they actually have a history of like
London,
racism.
Ontario, or London, UK. This is we're
London,
gonna get confused.
Ontario. Yeah, let me. When I say London,
Ontario.
I mean London, Ontario, Canada. Yeah.
Okay.
They have a history of like xenophobia and racism that I knew a little bit about that, but I didn't know that it was, as prevalent as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the really weird thing too was I remember 3 months ago, I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and obviously like during the pandemic, like everyone's taking walks outside, right? So she had made a comment stating that her mother was taking a lot of walks, and she was concerned about her because she wears the hijab. And I said to her, I'm like, oh, that's like, what's the big deal? And she was like, oh no, Fatima, there's like a lot of like white supremacists out there, and racist and people that are Islamophobic out there. And I literally like told her, I'm like, oh no, I don't think that's an issue. When this happened, I called her immediately, and I was like, oh my God, you were absolutely right. I literally like told her, I'm like, oh no.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sorry about the background. I have to pause that. So you literally told her you were right about this?
Yeah.
Time. This was a couple of weeks ago. This was like, so what do you say? Do you think it was a deja vu moment? You sort of sensed something?
I was shocked because literally like 3 months ago within this conversation with my friend and her saying like, she's concerned about her mother taking walks because she wears a hijab and she might get attacked. I thought that was outrageous. I was like, no, nobody's going to do that, And then in hindsight, like it literally happened. So this is a real thing, like a real threat.
And you wouldn't think about these type of threats like happening in places like Canada. I mean, we got like, should we watch a bit of the clip of the video? I got like that video. I got a little video of that, and this explains more in depth of what we're talking about. Just in case if you live underneath a rock or you don't know what's going on, you might be, some people might be not oblivious to this. And we could go through it. Where is it? We could go through it step by step. There it is, and let's just see. Let's see what's going on.
This is the family police say hate destroyed. 15-year-old Yumna Afzal, honor roll student. Her mother, Medea Salman, a writer and engineer working to complete her PhD. Grandmother Talat Afzal, who loved the family's evening pandemic walks. And Salman Afzal, father, husband, son. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Tonight we are once again in London, Ontario, a city where people are shuddering with grief.
We are a strong community. We belong here. This is our home.
And through it all, a community stands together in the face of the hate, the violence, and the fear.
I've never felt afraid of living in London before.
Muslims aren't safe. They aren't. They aren't safe. Muslims are not safe in this country.
Tonight, reflections from those who knew the family and blunt talk about what racism and Islamophobia in particular look like in this country.
Action needs to be taken here. We can't see this pattern happen over and over again.
It has no place here in London, Ontario, no place in Canada. We won't stand for this anymore.
I'm Ian Hannamansing. Also tonight, looking for guidance. Canadians want to know what they can do after their second shot.
I'm anxious to know what happens now. I want to go see my son.
And Canadian business.
And this was the London
spends $100 a day. An American will spend $500.
Hoping to avoid another lost summer. This is The National.
And this was the London Muslim Mosque tonight here in London, Ontario, the place where the family killed and injured in Sunday's attack worshipped and went to school. Tonight, it is where their community gathered to honor the 4 members killed and the little one, the 9-year-old child who survived. Tonight, outside that mosque, there was a powerful crowd made up of community members, faith leaders, politicians, including the Prime Minister, first responders, students, devastated friends, all of them paying tribute, calling for change, and holding each other up.
What I want to offer is a message of hope. A hope that this gathering today represents a pivotal moment.
And underscoring really the importance of this event, the need for it, pandemic restrictions were actually amended today to allow for it to happen. Tonight, we will take you through what happened here, along with how people are remembering the victims and how Muslims across the country are reacting to all of this. We begin with the family at the center of the story. 3 generations stolen away with a single brutal act. Makta Gabrasalasa joins us now. Makta, what have you been able to find out about this family?
Well, we learned that the family arrived from Pakistan in 2007. 46-year-old Salman Afzal, he was a physiotherapist. He worked with seniors, and he was a very kind person, is what we hear. His wife, 44-year-old Medea Salman, she worked in environmental engineering. We hear that she sparkled and that she was generous, and she was pursuing her PhD. And then Salman's mother, Talit Afzal, she enjoyed the evening walks that the family would take, something that became a regular routine during the pandemic. And then, of course, there was the 15-year-old teen who was a bright light and an artist. In Yumna Afzal's hands, the world was filled with so much promise. Her vision, excellence, integrity, respect, and honesty.
And I think about the 4 virtues that are listed on this wall, how we need to embody them, how we need to bring humanity back and continue our fight against hate.
Asad Chowdhury is the principal at the London Islamic School. 15-year-old Yumna was a student here with her brother until she graduated last year. She left behind a gift. She and her mother painted this mural. It is now her legacy.
It means the world. And it really is telling of the fact that we lost true gems of not just our school community, but community at large.
The community is crushed by the deaths of Yumna, her parents, and her grandmother. Her 9-year-old brother, the lone survivor, remains in hospital.
The family is a very integral part. They're very active members of our community.
Hassan Mustafa knows the family from the mosque. He is rocked by the revelation that police believe the family was targeted because of their faith.
As a father, I feel it's my job to protect my family. As a community leader, I feel it's my job to protect my community. And so it's tough. It's a tough day. It's a tough week.
Tonight, at the site of the attack, people paid their respects.
Honestly, I think we all feel some personal connection to this, whether or not we're from this faith, whether or not we know this family. We're all part of this community and we all care about them.
To get here today, I walked. And a couple of times I stopped and waited for the light to turn green. And I never once thought about my personal safety. And everybody deserves that same right.
From there to where a vigil was held, the hundreds in attendance listening for words of healing.
We will not cower out of fear.
To this community, which has made London stronger for generations, and to all Muslim Canadians, we are with you.
We have to commit ourselves to working across party lines, with premiers, with mayors, with faith leaders, to end the kind of violence and hatred that took these lives.
Everyone hoping to one day see a world as beautiful as Yamna Afzal created.
So Magda, obviously the road has opened up. People are still leaving flowers, but just a few hours ago, we were standing here together. I know you walked through the crowd, and I'm wondering, when you were there, what did you take away from that experience?
I was just amazed by how many people came. There was a sea of people, all ages, all races, all faiths, coming together to support the Muslim community and honor these lives lost. But at the same time, people were saying it shouldn't have come to this. This support should have been there before this happened. So it was mixed emotions.
All right, Magda, thank you very much for everything. So back where this horrific story started, at the intersection where 3 generations of a family were killed deliberately, police say, people are still leaving flowers, leaving signs, and they're grieving. Thomas Degla updates us on what we know at this point about the investigation and the man who stands accused.
Police spent the day at the suspect's London apartment, seemingly gathering more evidence as investigators consider whether terrorism charges are warranted. They haven't called this a terror attack, but they do consider it pre-planned and fueled by hate, pointing to the investigation as a whole rather than a note or a confession.
The culmination of all that information led us to believe that this was hate motivated.
Sorry, sis, you there? Fats. I wanted to just stop at that bit, yeah. I'm gonna play the rest of the video, but when they said it's not a terrorist attack, lad, so that I don't want to swear, lad, but what is it? What is it? What is it? I don't get that. So is it? This is what frustrates me. I was reading something on the Mail, the Independent, one of the Instagram people sent me, and they're saying alleged. They scratched out the word like alleged. This, and why can't they just call it out? Why can't they call it out?
Honestly, I completely agree with you 100%. It's a double standard, especially in communities of color, as well as like Muslim communities, as opposed to like when, let's be real, white people do terrorist attacks. Another thing I noticed too is the image that they posted of this psychopath that did this, this terrorist that did this, was not a mugshot. They literally showcased a photo of him, I guess, running for a marathon. Like, and the people were trying to like humanize him, make excuses for him, saying that
this happens all the time, sis. Mental illnesses, deficiencies. This always comes up when it's a certain. Let's call it how it is. When it's a certain skin color.
Yep.
Is it because that same nation? Okay, it's one of their natives. It's one of them. Do you think, well, I'm for me, it's just like, if it's a different, like, if he had a different shade or something, you know it's a terrorist attack. We all know it's going to be linked to a terrorist. If it's my shade, anyone else, brown, Arab, brown, it is a terrorist attack. This is a terrorist attack.
Absolutely. And that's
we witnessed a terrorist attack.
we witnessed a terrorist attack, and that's the thing that white people need to be honest about. They tend to sympathize with their own and make excuses for them and humanize the situation. Whereas if this was the exact same situation, and let's say it was a 20-year-old black man that did this, he would have had his mug, or brown or Arab, he would have had his mugshot out there. He would have been called a terrorist.
His religion would have been scrutinized. Everything.
You know what I mean? So it's like, keep the same energy. And I do want to point out that our prime minister did say that this is a terrorist attack. So I do also want to put that out there.
At least he's had the guts to call it out. But when you look at certain mainstream medias and then like the Independent, alleged, I'm looking at these profound words that they're using. This is why I kind of created Somali speakers for our Studken and all. I said, you know what, fuck listening to news. Let's start being the news. Let's start putting our stuff out there. Let's start calling out how we see it. Yeah. And what did he say? Dusty Foot. One of the panelists, Dusty Foot, he said, white people are smart and unified. They cannot blame them. What does that mean? What does that mean, Fats? What does that mean when a Somali brother says this out to you?
To be honest with you, the way I'm
thinking about this question,
the way that I'm interpreting that is the fact that if you control the narrative, right, and you control the language and what you're putting out there, you can, like, that's kind of how like Islamophobia kind of got created. I remember like after 9/11, every single movie, every TV show had a brown Arab looking character who had a bomb, you know what I mean? And the women that wear the hijabs were all oppressed. Like, this image was like, you know, shoved down everyone's throat by the media, right? So people are going to have this perception out there. And I feel like and that's what's so important with like having like Somali speakers or having your own network, or, you know what I mean, outlet to express your opinions and your views, because the opposite is not being done for you.
No, it's totally not. I'm surprised. I'm looking at like right now. We're gonna after we dissect what they just said, like for that little brief sort of period where we saw up and did you see that my Ilan Haristo, the 15-year-old sister, like a Muslim sister, like you see up and coming as artist, the person that's playing what the 4 letters that she said, very integrity, respect. Where is the respect for us? Like, what is going on? Why can't and because people are going to say, why are you going to play the race card? This has to do with race right now.
100%.
You cannot escape this. 100%. Like from now, you cannot escape. This group of people could get away with this, that. And it's, absolutely. I don't know what else to say. So I've got a couple of white Muslims now. Oh, it's not like, I'm like, it is like that. All right, so you took your shahada, but you've joined the gang. But now can you see the other side to it? Where it's, this is a terrorist attack. Like I said in Frisbee Park, another guy did this in my area, literally about 10, 20 minutes down the road. I think this was after that, but then he mowed down, and I think there was a Somali or they kuchire, like, and then that's got a mulay, and I was thinking, okay. Wow. They hesitated. He's a lone wolf, crazy, mental health. You see these words synonymous. You see these synonymous words that these words that they put out there. And
they love to do that. They love to.
Why can't you just say the T word? This person is a terrorist. He's one of us. He's a terrorist. Who terrorize Gray, and that's what it is.
Exactly.
But what do you think about this comment that Iftin put up? London, Ontario has become less and less safe for Muslims every year. The reason is because more white racists are moving to out of their small towns into this area, and they haven't seen. Is that true? What's the demographic of London, Ontario? You're from there. Talk to us from.
Yes. So growing up in London, it has been primarily white. I'm not going to lie to you. I think we have had an influx of people from Asia and Africa coming here, especially due to the house prices in the GTA, you know, in the Toronto area and whatnot, coming to Ontario. So I have noticed more diversity in London, but it has been primarily a white population. And I think with her comment, I think she's absolutely right. I think a lot of these white people are not, they're probably in shock of how fast the diversity is happening. And this is like, you know, a lot of things people do is based off of fear and ignorance, you know? So not to make any excuses, but I feel like if you have that ignorance and that fear that builds up, it creates situations like this.
Yes, sister. I totally agree on that. Sister Ifti, she's one of our panelists. She's from Canada. She's from I don't know what part of Canada she's from, but the thing is, like you said, they're not used to that. But this is what baffles me about North America, wallah, yeah. It's the land of the immigrants. It's not Muslim Mersha.
Right?
Like in England, in England, I understand when they're like this, I'm like, okay, well, what don't call the mainland Europe, I kind of get you. You get where I'm coming from, yeah? But in North America, like, no one owns, she's, the sister says she's from Ottawa. My bad sister, she's from Ottawa. But that's what baffles me about North America. I'm thinking, that Pascalaha, I thought it was a liberal country. I thought, like, Canada, the most friendly, Canadians, the most high, silly in it, but
yeah,
that's what kind of threw me off, like, right now.
We
That's
have
what
that
throws me off.
global positive stereotype and image of Canada that we are more progressive and we accept diversity and we are not like the Americans. You know what I mean? A lot of us try to differentiate between that. But the thing is, Canada has a lot of crimes in history. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the Indigenous community, we just found out, like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, 215 bodies found of Indigenous kids.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And yes, so this, like, this
still,
is,
I heard about the when the Indigenous women, they used to sterilize them. That was a big taboo in Canada. Like, the government was actually sterilizing them for years, so they could cut their birth rate. But were you saying they're finding missing bodies as well?
Missing bodies by the residential schools at I think the Catholic Church had something to do with this as well. But a lot of this is like a lot of hidden racism that is not like discussed in Canada, and it needs to be talked about. And like you said, this area, this entire North America is Indigenous. It's the land of the natives, and we are immigrants to this land. You know what I mean?
Everyone is. Everyone is.
Absolutely.
Everyone is.
And I don't know why a significant part of our demographic likes to forget that and tries to erase that.
Sister Fats, listen to this here. What do you think about this? Assalamu alaikum, Somali speakers. Islamophobia or anti-Muslim or Islam bigotry? Because I was looking at this word. You know the word, the Islamophobia, that they throw out there? Phobia means irrational fear or something, right? I don't think these people fear Islam. I don't think they fear it. I think they hate it. So should we even look at that word as well? That word itself. Like, do you think that word is a bit too easy?
I mean, that's an interesting, fear and hate can kind of go along together. You know what I mean? I know some people, like, they may, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. There was a Muslim sister who basically would have her hijab be pulled away, okay, by men, grown men, right? And obviously, like, that has an element of hate, right? So they're not physically fearing her, like, they don't obviously see her as a threat, but they are hating her based off of her religion. So I do agree with the correlation that, yes, this is also tied to, like, hate, you know? But I also do think there's an element of fear because they don't know a lot about Islam. Because had they known a lot about Islam, it's very similar to Christianity.
So is it the fear of the unknown, or do you think the media's done such a great job of making us look like Hawaiians, wallah? And some of us out here, like with El Shabab as well, they don't really do justice with us. So sometimes, imagine this here, you're in, I don't know, London, Ontario, you're a dumb person. You've never integrated with no ever Muslim in your life. You've just been that, I don't know, I'm just picturing like mountains, snow, deers. I don't know what London, Ontario is.
It's a little bit more Alberta, but yes, Ontario.
I don't know. I'm just popping in my head. I'm just thinking mountains. You know, people that wear some weird clothes. Everyone friendly, maple syrup. You know, the usual.
The usual.
Yeah, what is it? Tim Hortons or something.
Yep.
So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I understand the rednecks, but what are the racist Canadians like? Because some of them, half of them speak French, so I don't even understand what they say. But this is the demographic. There's only 29 million of you. Every year you take in 250 refugees and you're taking them in from countries from like Melababa is Syria, Somali. You're taking Muslim refugees in. So are you saying a lot of people are scared of the shift of the demographic? That's what's frightening them.
I think that's what it is because, like, honestly, if you look at places like Alberta, like that province, which it's a little bit more like America in the sense of they're more blunt with their racism, whereas I think Ontario, it's a little bit more liberal and it's a different type of racism, you know, as opposed
it's like England.
It's like England, yes.
England. You've been to England. You know how
I've been to
England's
England.
racism is.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's still racist, but it's got like it's a, like different levels of it, you know? And I think because like obviously our population in Canada as a whole is not that big, and we are having massive immigration, and the country needs massive immigration to survive.
Thank you.
You know,
To survive. So this is the irony.
this is the irony, right?
This
So
is because
like
when
it
I
or
saw
not,
this, sister facts, when I saw this and I was looking at the statistics, I was like 250 refugees or so Gilead, it's the best way. So that's so Gilead around the world. Hell yeah, your demographic is gonna change. And plus,
Absolutely.
you know, our Dunker, we know Hannah Medallion. So that kind of helps as well. So their birth rate's going down, immigration's going up, other people are populating. Is this what they're really scared of? The face of the new face of Canada?
Absolutely. And also you have to understand we also had in the United States, like we had Trump, you know what I mean, who was also advocating a lot of like anti-Islamic rhetoric, you know, that was just contagious throughout many places in the world, you know? So I feel like if you give people that platform to speak out and say negative things publicly and whatnot, even if it's like hidden, it's still wrong. But I feel like the more comfortable, because of also what happened with Trump, I feel like we're seeing a rise of that. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know if it's like that in England, but like out here, I noticed when Trump was elected, we saw a huge rise of people, especially specifically white people, speaking about racism and like saying very racist things and speaking and hating Muslims. And we have to also understand that like being Muslim, a lot of people may not know that you're Muslim. You know what I mean? Because
So elaborate on that, sis. I don't say that
like,
again.
I'll
Being
give you an
Muslim.
example. I'll give you the perfect example. My experience as a Muslim woman, right? Because I do not wear the hijab. Maybe a completely,
as you can see,
as you can see, is a completely different experience as opposed to a Muslim woman who does wear a hijab. You know what I mean? That is like right there. It's literally showcasing that you are Muslim. So you are most likely to be targeted, which is not cool. You know what I mean? We should not have that fear for our sisters. Like,
okay, sister. You know, always, you know, I'm gonna be a bit of a devil's advocate right now. You know how it is. I hate to be this guy, but I always wanted to ask this one question. As an non-hijabi walala, yeah. Do you feel like you could get a pass that these sisters don't get past you? Or do you feel like you're still in the same sort of boat where you feel it just because you don't wear it? How does that make you feel? If you don't mind me asking.
Personally, I feel like from my personal experiences, a lot of people that I've had people say anti-Muslim things to my face, and I would correct them and explain to them, wait a minute, like I'm Muslim. And then I would literally see in their face, you know what I mean? Like that, right? So obviously my experience is going to be very different as opposed to a Muslim woman that is like, she is wearing the hijab, right? So right off the bat, they know, right? So it's definitely a different experience. And we need to protect, because my mother wears a hijab. She could have easily been the unfortunately. Absolutely.
I remember the beginning of the stream. You were saying the mother, as you saw in the news report, like she used to fondly go out for nights on the walk. Do you get where I'm coming from, sister?
Yep.
This is why I wanted to do this, because I've been getting a lot of Somali like, and this is the type of example I've been talking about. This like, okay, where do you stand on this? Okay, but this is the reality. They get run over, and you're still gonna be like, So this is where we have to actually, as Somalis, really, as Muslims, this is a Muslim conversation as well. I want to bring all my Muslim brothers and sisters. This is not just for us. This is all for anyone that believes in Muslim Islam. And definitely as diasporas, that we all away from home, shit like this wouldn't happen at home. But I'm thinking to myself, it's the media coverage that I'm looking at, sis. I'm looking at the way that they, how can I say, they dismissed it. Like, you're gonna see I've looked at all reports. Allegedly, lone wolf. He had mental health issues. This guy's something else. And I think to myself, okay, they're very good at this.
Oh, that's why language and words are so important. You know, you can brainwash people very quickly with that.
Yes. Definitely. Big up my brother Mohammed Chidda in the building. First to join us.
So
Welcome,
do I.
Sardawo.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm early bird, I need to sleep soon, so let me jump in quickly. Because Khalid likes stay out too late,
No, well, like, you know what it is, yeah, from Monday to Friday, yeah, no, I work in it, yeah, so I only do about 2 to 3 hours, but facts, we usually do 6-7 hours, don't worry about that. A lot of people have been complaining. I am going to cut up the streams, give you like the best bits. Waqti. But Mohammed, wallah, inside the wall,
Muslim family murdered in Canada. French president got slapped. Alhamdulillah, very good. Very
and
nice.
The rise of it.
Although the slap could have been much harder, but I'm not going to get into that. Maybe the
we're
guy
going to watch
the
the slap. We're going to watch that. We're going to get into the slap. And the rise of Islamophobia. What do you think? Especially with you. Have you heard this case about the family?
Nah, but I know a lot of people in Canada, Wasteland, and a lot of gang activity, especially
this
with
is
the Somali
nothing to
community.
do with gang. No, this is an Islamophobic attack. Basically, a guy drove it. I haven't seen the rest of it. I think he drove into the family house.
No, they were.
It's one of them ones. Okay,
yeah. They were taking a walk by the they were just taking a regular evening walk. 3 generations, one family, and this racist white kid was driving his truck, and he purposely ran them over, killing 4 people in the one family and leaving a 9-year-old boy as an orphan.
Imagine waking up. This when I saw, you know, it's Fatima and Mohammed Chidda. When I saw one of the sisters on Instagram post this, and then she was like, "Yo, imagine when the kid wakes up from he survived, but imagine waking up, Walasha, your dad, the whole family gone. Everyone's just gone. Ayeyo as well. Ayeyo, Hoyo, Walasha, and the Abu all at one time, and you wake up like no one in this world. I just hope that kid has a strong iman, you know them ones. I hope he becomes
strong other family, like cousin, maybe aunt.
Mohammed, yes, my brother. Jump on, links on the chat. It's sad. Canada, mate. Just yeah. That's all I can say. Like in that level, this worries us. Like sister saying, the rise of attack on Dadken, on Muslimin, everything. What's your thoughts on it, Mohammed? Drop it. What's your thoughts on
Islamophobe? I mean,
this rise of what do you think?
Yeah, the rise of the Islamophobics and the ex-Muslims who have become Islamophobes. Like you just mentioned earlier, you said something interesting. You said that all these people, Deen Takabahai, and they, they come on YouTube and they talk about how bad their religion was, even though most of Deen Ta'aya, most of it was, although most of it I think was culture, and like we said, family members go Wali Muslima. If they think same thing could happen to them, and then they won't be, then they won't be
a racist Adan liberal guy. If tell you, sorry, I was gonna say something like they wallah, I gotta stop myself. Yeah, that because I'm noticed this wallah, yeah. These guys, they suck on Adan whatever, yeah, and it's like okay, cool, Adan guy did that. And I think to myself, what is going on? Where's your stance on this? Like, and I don't even want to fuck them. They're my new community, but I want to hear. How do we feel about this? Because I'm not gonna lie, it happened in Frisbee Park, Mohammed, about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember a couple years ago. Yeah, I remember.
A Somali guy. I think the Somali guy. It was a Somali guy that died in there, innit? Or they Somali. There's a couple of Arabs and they were in all. And I think it's Ramadan. Them not come out of
Ramadan. Yes, it was Ramadan.
The Ramadan. They come out. 2017. They came out of Ramadan late prayers. This guy just he did this. This is what I think. Are these,
the Welsh guy.
Welsh guy. Are these things copycat? Is he copycat serial killers? Some people used to look at people and be like, "Yo,
It started in I think Norway a few years ago. I mean, and that guy he made a lot of followers just by doing what he did, and then obviously you got the New Zealand attack. That was like the most brutal one I think so far. The one who went inside mosques in 2019, I think that was I think the worst one. And then now you get these copycats coming here and there. So I think it's a trend, isn't it? I mean, somehow for these racists and Islamophobes, and this is the thing. A lot of Somalis, BLM, boom, 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 boom. But I tell you what, BLM or any of these meadows, every day, what they've done for the new communities like us, I mean, you can't really deny that, can you? Let's be real.
What do you mean? You say you can't deny that. What does that mean?
Okay, for example, they advocate against racism, right? Racism, somehow put in the same category as Islamophobe, right? Because most Islamophobes are somehow racist unless they're obviously not
wait
white.
1 second. Yo, brother, you know you got your camera on before you come on. You happy with that? Switch off your cam, man. Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah. What's going on? The infamous. Go on.
1 sec.
Yeah.
Maverick, what?
Yeah, Maverick joined. Ishmael, welcome, Ismailo. Salam alaikum assalam.
Alaikum assalam.
Come through.
Peace, not to Maverick.
Peace, I know he doesn't, yeah. I know. Yo, Ish, you jumped on a panel.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? Talk to us. What's your thoughts on this case?
What can I say? Some disgusting shit. All I can think about is that kid, innit? He's gonna wake up without a dad, a mum, sister. His whole family's gone. Imagine waking up from a coma to that. Well, that's anyone's worst nightmare.
I know.
All you can do is pray for him, innit? Well, so
Yeah. And hope he doesn't go into the system, but rather have extended families, like cousins, maybe aunties.
Yeah,
hopefully,
he's Asian, so it might.
Yeah, but you never know. Their family only came in 2007, Don't get twisted. Yeah, 2007, by Canada, South Galen, the whole family.
Wow.
So you never know. They might be one of them families, Idla Killigoats getting mid set up, them ones there, and that's the worst thing. Yeah, man. Well, I never even thought about that.
So
Imagine
sad, wallah.
Kerry,
I did read that he does have some extended family in the city, and there has been a huge group of people that volunteered to adopt him.
Yeah,
but he has extended family though.
That's what it's about.
Alhamdulillah.
That's good. That's the main thing, man.
Yeah.
No.
Can't be surprised anymore.
It's
can't be surprised anymore.
He can't be.
You can't be surprised. What do you mean, Ishmael? What do you mean you can't be surprised? What does that mean, bro?
Can't, bro. The West, they have three faces. One face is, we're liberal, we're all inclusive, we're so accepting, and then the other face, they just hate Muslims and anyone with that has color in their skin, and they'll do anything.
Do you think it's hate, or would you say this is hate, or would you say this is something manifested? I don't know. That manifested, I'd say, man, it's something that the media's created. We're becoming scapegoats all over the world. You get where I'm coming from? Our nations. If you look at Muslim nations around the world right now, it's the majority of them are a joke. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
the Muslim leadership, it's a joke. I'm not seeing no strong Muslim countries out here.
There is no ummah, man. Like I've been saying it.
That's gone.
Move on.
That's gone nowadays. At the end, at the end of the day, what do you expect from countries that were built on genocide, slavery, just persecution of everyone that does not conform to their thing, their own image? So what do you expect?
That's a very good point.
You can't go within 20 years. Because 20 years ago, a couple of decades back, people were still being segregated, people were being killed. Yasir Qadi, the guy in America, the Pakistani guy. He's apparently his dad used to be, heavily discriminated back in the 60s. They used to tell him to get off their porches. They used to call him a brown monkey, you monkey. They used to, beat him outside of places and all that shit. What do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect at the end of the day?
But so hold on. We can't just tarnish the same brush with everyone. You can't just say the country that you're in right now that gives you opportunities is entirely racist. That's
I'm
crazy.
not in that country.
Where are you?
I'm in London.
You're in London, right? Well, London's the West, isn't it? What are you going to say? That London is different from the people you're talking about?
Yeah, kinda. It's the same.
No, it's not.
The thing is,
it's similar.
It's kinda. It's similar. They all have.
Sister Fats, you had a point that you wanted to drop after this.
I don't think you can say that the whole West is bad and racist.
I didn't say all of them.
No, we're not. We're not saying that, but
three faces.
We're saying
I said they have different faces.
I don't even think you can say they like that though. Like when you say they, it's as though you're saying the whole of the people from the West are like this. There's no such thing.
Obviously, you saying but come on, but bro. Let's not get into that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm saying, brother, when there's an attack like this, the rhetoric that you're seeing in the Independent, allegedly, is this a terrorist attack in your opinion?
Exactly.
Was it not Maverick? Was this a
structure.
terrorist attack? Let's be honest. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's not argue to argue for sake of argument. A man ran over a Muslim family, laughing his head off, saying death to Islam and all of that. What is that? What is that, Ahmed? What is that in our head? Is it Wanimwalam Bar? You're gonna use that rhetoric on us right now?
No, it's definitely hatred. I'm not sure you can call it terrorist yet, because terrorist implies that there's an organization that basically uses this sort of a method for a political end. So until you can figure out that he's part of an organization and etc., you can't call it a terrorist attack.
It's not just an organization; it's an individual.
Definitely hate
organization.
though.
Nah, you can't not even an individual. You can't call him a terrorist. It has to be.
I hear you. We don't know.
It has to
we don't
be
know
a
the motives
political
behind
organization that uses this method as a political method. That's all. That's what it's called, terrorism.
No, but we still don't know if it's even a hate crime. It could have been an accident. Who knows? It could have been a madman just doing
accident.
Accident?
Not an accident. Not accident. It could have been a madman. Okay, listen to this.
No, it was.
It could have been
calculated. It was calculated. He had a swastika and he had a bulletproof vest. So he saw this family and
I didn't know that.
And targeted them.
I didn't know that. Okay, then it's different. Then I didn't know the facts behind the whole incident, but obviously now I know.
But hey, let me ask you guys an interesting question though, because I think it's too easy to just all go kumbaya and just go against that individual. I think the tougher question is, what has that individual been told of in regards to Islam, or like how has the kid been brainwashed? That's the question.
Same way extremists get brainwashed to go ISIS, join ISIS, I suppose.
They're the same or the same point. These are your enemies. They're not like you. They're different. They're here to take over. They don't value. It's the same rhetoric as the terror. Al-Shabaab. Same. So it's just a flip on the other side.
Just the other side. That's it. Yeah.
That's it, my bro. Just different skin tone, different type of. It's the same method, but just different ideologies. You get where I'm coming from, my G.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Guys, hold up the panel for me. My sister Fats, Maverick, Mohammed. Come back in 2 minutes, guys. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man. So mad thing, but
I'm just gonna say this: if I can put myself in a Westerner's shoes, let's say I was a Adan kid, and I saw in the media all the time about Muslims this, Muslims that. But what makes matters even worse is when you have alleged Muslims who have committed alleged terrorist attacks in the West. So, and then you have also certain sources where I can find that's been associated with Islam, where I can find very questionable things, or even things that would make me go against the people that believe these sort of things. What do you guys think of that?
Okay, even if all that you're saying is true and all that, it still doesn't justify him doing all that shit. And even I don't care if he's been programmed since day one that a certain group is terrorist or bad people. It gives him no right to go to a random family, random people, and just mow them down.
But what if he believes that random family and the terrorists that are committing these acts, they all believe the same things? So it's only a matter of time, huh?
Okay. He probably knows that Muslims are, let's say, the second largest religion in the world. We have a lot of followers, 1.2 billion people. If we were terrorists, this world will be overrun. The West will be over. Everyone will be overrun. 1.2 billion people having the same ideology and going out.
But there's ways of brainwashing people. I mean, we can easily just say, okay, they have a big population, but they're slowly creeping it. There's so much ways of just lying to someone and making it seem like the enemy, it's bigger than what you think. So it's really hard to say. I mean, like I said, man, Same way ISIS get, ISIS get the recruits from the West. You see little girls, 15, 16-year-old girls go in there. The same thing happens here. It's just the same thing, just opposite kind of way.
The other thing
Exactly,
is,
it's brainwash.
the other thing is, when you look at European history, you look at the Western history, like in terms of the stuff they've gone through with the church, with their politics and stuff like that. When you consider their history, and then they see not just Muslims, actually, this is Jews as well. When they see Jews and Muslims really looking somewhat distinct from the society, do you think that could perhaps create some sort of tension?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I brought up the fact that, like, of course I'm Muslim, right? But most people would not know because I'm not wearing the hijab, right? Whereas another Muslim girl who is wearing a hijab will literally be right there, like it's right off the bat, she's Muslim. So I think being distinct, and with also being distinct, like, it sucks because, like, we shouldn't have to fear that, you know?
You should have to fear what, though?
We shouldn't have to fear putting on a hijab or wearing our Islamic garment in wherever we are in the world. Like, that's disgusting. That's ridiculous. So
Being distinct is not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
It's our culture.
Well, okay. Let's put Islam and our culture to a side, because that's obviously going to cloud our judgment. If you think about your experience in life, when you have a group of people, or group of people in any setting, when you have one person who's distinct from the group, does that not usually cause tension?
Yeah, obviously.
It attracts.
Yeah.
It depends.
Negativity, well, not always negative, but it attracts some kind of attention. Yeah.
It
could be good or bad. Yeah, always.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to kill them.
No.
Of course not. No. But you don't know what kind of attention it can bring that can lead to something like that.
Yeah, it can bring you good attention, but it can also bring you negative attention. The point is, I think the moment you make yourself distinct, then you're almost susceptible to some sort of attention.
That is true. Yes.
Well, if you get the positive, you kind of have to not be too surprised with the negative then.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all, but it's still disgusting. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying is that your basic, what can I say, manners or human nature, it should go in front of you killing a family. Like,
no,
even
we're not talking about that right now. Clearly, we all agree on that. But I'm trying to get to the root cause.
Can I just make a point?
What's the point?
And can I just make a quick point in terms of like being distinct and whatnot? There's also like a huge Amish community in Canada. Yes. White people respect them, have no issues with them. They are very freaking distinct compared to everybody else. They stand out. But because of Islamophobia and what's put out in the media and all this like brainwashing about Muslims, that's another layer. So I don't think it just has to be
definitely
distinct.
I agree with you. That definitely is another layer, without a shadow of doubt. However, would you say the Amish community are as integrated? Like, don't they have like their own sort of community? Like, don't they reside with themselves? Huh?
Yes, they have their own community, but the thing is, sometimes.
But that's not the case with us, though.
We're very integrated. That is true.
So it's like we're integrated, but we're not integrated. But here's the thing.
Wait, what do you mean by not integrate? Like, how do we stand out?
Wait. I'll tell you how. I'm gonna put myself. Remember, guys. It's obviously if we're all just if we're all coming from singing the same tune, it's not gonna be fun, innit? So I'm gonna play that the devil's advocate, whatever the cast may be. All right, check this out.
Would you say kabalabal?
Kabalabal.
I mean, they did not knew that word there. Go on, carry on.
I was gonna say this, yeah. Basically, I can put it to you that you trying to make yourself distinct from me arbitrarily is you trying to almost claim some sort of superiority over me? If not, why do you want an arbitrary distinction?
Distinction? How? What do you mean distinction?
Well,
If I'm already
how are we
distinct, though,
distinct?
if I'm
well,
already
okay.
like, you know, like,
Okay, let's say like, the Adan person would say to you, this hijab that you are wearing over your head, as far as I'm concerned, it is just an arbitrary distinction for you to feel superior over me. So therefore, that makes me feel a type of way. What would you say about that?
Buck up, I don't care.
I'll be like, you got nuns, you got Sikhs. Come on, you live in a liberal land. That's the thing about.
I'm sure they feel the same about all of them, though. I'm not just talking about Muslims.
Not really.
Listen, I'm just saying. Listen, okay, check this out. Human beings, there are necessary things. There are practical things. There are even things that we do for aesthetics. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, all of that is understandable. However, there are things that human beings consider arbitrary. Now, if you make an arbitrary distinction between me and you, me knowing that you and I are just human beings, I need to understand why you feel the need to make that arbitrary distinction.
Oh, okay. So the hijab's the problem. That's what you're trying to say.
No.
A lot of them have said that.
It could be anything.
It could be anything, but
like what? Like other than the hijab, okay. Other than the hijab, what will make us stand out? Because we don't pray in front of them, we don't fast in front of them, we don't, do our ibadah in front of them.
That's actually a good point that you brought. And notice that it's mostly women that get the brunt. It's mostly women that get the brunt of this hatred, because it's women that are carrying the symbol, not the men.
Absolutely.
But say if you say Ada Khamis man,
if anything, why don't the men carry the symbol? Why put that on the women?
Huh? What do you mean? Let's say again.
Why don't the men carry the symbol? Why put that on the women?
The men don't wear hijabs, innit?
I'm saying
we got now. Come on, how many Muslims? No, but that's no. I know where you're trying to go with this. Listen,
hijab. I think
no, I'm saying listen. No, I'm not talking about hijab. I'm talking about the distinction. You gotta understand that it will create conversation.
Hijab is the only distinction.
But yeah, but that itself is a question.
That's a symbol. No, but that's a symbol of a Muslim woman. What do you mean it's a question? That's a symbol of a Muslim woman.
So you throw away your identity. You throw away your.
What are you talking about? When you see a Jew, when you see an what's it called?
Jews get attacked,
they get attacked. Obviously, I live it. Come on, you had to get to Hagen.
Of course.
You've got distinction. Obviously, when you've got the label and you look like the person that you hate, and you're watching like this person, I hate this person, whether it's a Sikh, whether it's this, that, you're gonna attack them, right? You know what your target is. You know the people you hate.
Yeah, but it's not just about distinction. Right? Because we don't wait.
No, man, come on, man. No, because right now, if you hate someone, a group of people, you definitely know what they look like. Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's common sense, right? If I hate you, right now, if I hate this type of person, and they're distinct.
Hold on.
I'm gonna attack because you have had that hatred for that type of group of individuals. Yes or no? That's common sense, man.
Wait,
say they hate.
You know the Adam people.
You gotta ask yourself why.
No. You know
because I don't know. It's maybe
they'll wait.
As humans, we are generally afraid of something we don't know, or something that we're not familiar with. I think it's human nature anyway. If you look at, I've seen enough Somalis talk about this. Back home, we get a lot of Oromos lately coming in. How many complaints and how much fear, or people talk anyway regardless. Now imagine if they had a different religion. Just pretend these people have a different religion, different language.
No, but there's a
how would we react?
History behind
human
it.
nature, bro.
But Somalis are a different ballgame.
I'm just giving it as an example. It's human nature.
You're saying human nature, fear people they don't know, that and rare. Is that where you're coming from? It's the fear of the unknown.
But Somalis is not a fear, though.
No, I think to an extent, yes. No, just using it as an example, but it's similar though. How many of us have said, "Oh, we don't like these people coming from because." No, forget the Dagal part. Even the peaceful
with
part.
Dagal causes conflict in it.
Okay, do we have a negative view on these people? Yes or no?
I think with Somali people though, they literally have that view with anybody that's a foreigner, like just throughout history. I don't think it's
I
an
think that's
actual,
humans.
no, I think
That's
like
humans.
like for example, you know, the African American community, right? In the United States, they've integrated to the point where they will even you'll literally won't even tell like who's black, who's white, right? Physically they'll integrate, they'll be in the middle class, they'll do everything that the white Americans will do, right?
I don't see them having much of a choice though.
No, there's a choice, but there's a part of the community historically that has done that, just so they could feel like historically, just so white people could accept them, right? Guess what happened? They've never accepted them. And they're Christian.
And they're still trying.
And they're still trying, you know what I mean? So I don't think
but like I said,
that works either.
So why do you think they don't accept them? Is it because of the skin color? Is it because of the history? Is it because of the current mentality that they bring? What is it? Tell me.
Because they think that they're better than them. They're racist. That's literally what it comes down to.
That's humans though, right? It's humans.
Not to the point of
what are you not talking about?
Hating somebody. I'm like to the point of like literally segregating them and doing.
I think it's tribalism to an extent.
To an extent, yes, you're right. To an extent.
I mean, tribalism, it just runs in human nature. I don't think tribalism is something that anyone can eradicate today or tomorrow. It's something that's always going to be there. It just comes in different forms.
Hold on. Well, one second. Tribalism can definitely be eradicated. As a matter of fact, in most developing nations, it has been eradicated. It's just the third world that really operate by that nonsense.
That is true.
But by tribalism, I mean the anyone who doesn't look like you or
back
share
back then there was no such thing as racism. It was basically because race is a new thing in human history. Back then you would call it
tribalism. I don't mean it specific tribalism. Yeah, but I didn't mean it specifically like tribalism, different tribe. I was saying
we're talking about people.
I was saying people are different to you. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. People from tribalism can be someone. Look, I can be from this country. You can be from that country, but you're my country, and I just don't like you simply because you're not part of me in a way. That can also be tribalism.
Is that racism?
I don't think that's racism.
It's racism, but I still think it's.
What is that?
It's not racism because there's people there are black people who dislike Somalis. You know what I mean? Because they're Muslim, because of whatever reason, they see them as the other, different, right? So I don't think it has to do with race. I think it's
Somali people hate other black people, and it's vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah. So I don't think it's a racism thing.
Some Somalis are racist towards black people, and some black people are racist towards Somalis. Some Somalis.
So that's not racism.
Arabs.
There's that. So that is racism.
Tribalism.
Is that a definition of racism?
Guys, why do Somalis do that, man? We have to substantiate our claims. It's got nothing to do with racism. It's about. Let's be honest. It's about political identities. That's what it's about. Somalia politically does not identify itself with the rest of Africa. And really and truly,
not really.
And really and truly, the so-called Black Americans, really, and Caribbeans, it's not really Africans, it's the Black Americans and the Caribbeans, those that are suspicious of the Somalis, and not just the Somalis, it's mainly the Black Muslims, basically, and that's because they think they are more loyal to the Muslim cause than they are to the Black cause. So it has nothing to do with racism or hatred.
Absolutely.
And you need to start speaking.
I think everyone has their reasons to be racist or tribalist. It's an individual thing. I don't think it's a general.
A lot of them hate Ethiopians as well, and Ethiopians are mainly Christian, and
exactly. It's about political alliances. That's what it's about. Nothing else. Let's be honest.
But Ethiopia,
East Africa is not extremely pan-African, in it. So how are you gonna blame people for looking at you sideways?
No, it's not just because of that. It's because is that, and once again is basically we have to get back to the foundations. People look different. We don't really go with the Arabs. We don't really go with the blacks. We don't go with the Asians. We don't go with anyone.
Okay, when you say that, yeah. Okay, when you say we don't go with this and that,
as in
Is
Somali
that
and
according
Horn of
to
Africa.
you? Okay, is that according to you, or is that according to internationally how the world sees you? Because I've noticed that Somalis like to have.
According to us, though, Mavs, though, man.
No,
We see it like this.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
We've also
'Cause
gotten
let
those
me tell you why.
comments too.
Come on, sister, come through, sis.
Yeah, but
I just want to bring up a point.
They differentiate
Let the
us
sister,
as well.
man. 1 second. Let the
Let
sister
me
talk,
land.
man. Come on, 1 second. No, Maverick.
All right, let me
One
land
second.
there. I was talking when you interrupted me. So let me land.
No, but it's a conversation. Let Inanto walk on, sis. Come through that statement.
Halfway of
Yeah.
talking.
Just really
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
really quick. Just when you were saying that if other people have stated this about us,
Yeah.
I remember like when we went to this African conference, right? It was me, a bunch of my Somali friends, and everybody else was non-Somali, right? So like mostly from West Africa and whatnot, and the Caribbean. There was a lot of Caribbean people there. So obviously, through our lens, we're obviously going to an African conference. We're looking at it as we are all black, right? From the Somali end, okay? Nobody's differentiating themselves. They literally pointed out the fact that we were, I think they said that we were mixed with Guyanese and
What?
telling us about, yeah, exactly, right? About our history. And we had to explain to them, no, Somalis have nothing to do with Guyana. And they're literally like, so this is not just coming from our end. Like these comments, like I've heard, I know a lot of other people have heard throughout their lives. So that's
Yeah, but guys,
what connection do we have with Guyana?
One minute.
Right?
One minute. You got to remember the brainwashing and the colorism that these people went through themselves. Like to the point where they would have, let's say, they had mixed race children. Their mixed race children was used against them. They became like a third tier. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So when you're looking at African American and Caribbeans, you're looking at people who are pissed off, people who have been brainwashed, people that have gone through a lot. As a matter of fact, you got to remember that they even come at the Nigerians because they know it was Nigerians tribes that sold them.
We sold them.
That's a whole different reason that they're angry at
No,
us because
the point.
I think they have all kinds of anger, man.
You're looking at damaged people over there. However, you're also looking at damaged people when it comes to us. We would like to beat our chest and be like, this and that and this and that. Let me tell you why, yeah? Because you know Somalis would like to have an idea of themselves. However, what they don't understand is the world has an idea of you. You can't dictate to the world. Like, you know, when you say, earlier on when you said we're not Arab, we're not really with the rest of Africa, blah blah, we're on our own. That's entirely your own idea. The moment you go outside of Africa, everybody sees you as nothing but an African.
No.
That's not true.
I wouldn't say that because they
really?
in history. Wait, hold on. In history, they've differentiated us. Let's go back to 20th century Europe when they came up with the race concepts and shit. You know how they came up with Mongoloid, Wahas. They differentiated.
Scientists.
No.
You're gonna see a Caucasian now.
No, whoa, I never said that. I said they've differentiated us before.
It was a German scientist. When you said Mongoloid, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, but they didn't the West as a whole go by the Mongoloid, Caucasoid, and Negroid thing.
Don't.
They did.
Like, what? No,
Before,
don't.
I'm talking about before.
They
did.
No, they don't. Stop it, man.
They did.
Oh my God, bro.
This guy, this guy just wants to, he just wants.
Because there are historical facts, Ismail, brother.
No. I know there's historical facts.
Who came with this Mongoloid skull science? Who came up with it?
It was a German guy, but it then
why
became
did he come up with it?
international.
All right, why did he come up with it?
Of course, racism to be seen as better than other people. But then it became international.
Specifically, do you know why he came up with it specifically?
Because of the slavery, to justify slavery in the Americans, the Wahas.
No,
they did as well.
No, more than that.
What is it?
Do you know specifically? Have you researched this or not?
I have him and.
All right, then tell me
the thing.
What triggered him to make this to come up with this science? Do you know what triggered it?
What?
So I thought you'd done the research.
I did do the research. I did
So then you should know
what he classified people.
Why? What triggered it?
Because of, I just told you, there's a lot of
You
facts
don't know,
to
do
it,
you?
like slavery,
You don't know, do you?
to be seen as better.
No.
Okay, tell me. Okay, go on.
You don't know, do you?
Go on, tell me then. I
No,
told
but
you
just
two
say
of my
you don't
points.
know.
Okay, wait, okay. The points that I listed, were they valid? Yes or no?
No, it had nothing to do
They
with
weren't. They weren't valid.
It was,
say what
it
it
was,
is, and we'll
They
find
weren't.
out if he
Go
knows
on.
or not.
Okay,
it was,
go on.
it was to do with the pyramids. It
The
was
what?
to do with the, it was to do with the Egyptian pyramids, and because they found out that it was black people that did it, they had to make a,
To be seen as exactly.
they had to justify their slavery. So therefore, they started to
I just said
to make
that.
a difference between East and West. No, you did not.
I said
You did
slavery.
not
I
say
said
the main. You did not say the
superiority
main.
he said, I
complex.
think he
Listen,
said,
I just
yeah.
said that.
Let's not just argue
He said
for
to
the
make
sake
it
of arguing.
to make it seem that they're better than others. In a way, he
Exactly,
did
this is
say
what I
it, but
said.
in a way, he didn't.
Bro, listen. If you've done this
You know,
research, there's
you
no
know,
way. There's no way you
you
would have
know,
left off
you know,
the
it's with
pyramid
Maverick.
because
We're
With
having a
Maverick.
conversation. Hey,
With
listen,
Maverick.
guys. Yo, we're going back to the topic right now, man. We're flowing out, man. Come on,
that
man.
was
Yo,
the
lit.
reason, nothing else.
I
And it
know.
never
I
I
listen.
just said superiority complex, to be seen as better than other people. That is
Yeah, he did
basically
say
the
that.
thing.
No, but where are you getting? Buff has nothing to do with superiority. It's to do with the Egyptian pyramids. It's to do with the Egyptian pyramids. And
Oh
to
man,
make
you
the
just
people-
want to
hearing
argue,
this
innit?
waffle.
So when you
Exactly.
chop it
If
off,
you would have
come
if
on,
you would have done the
man.
You're
research, you would have
waffling.
known.
Maverick, you're waffling. Wallahi. It's
I'm
superiority
waffling.
complex.
I'm the one
It's
that's
superiority complex.
You did not
They
know what
wanted
it
to
is,
be
and I'm the
seen.
one that's
Wait,
waffling.
they
Well,
wanted to
if you
be
don't
seen
know
as
about
better
subject,
than
you
other
shouldn't speak
people.
about it, man.
Superiority complex is to be
All right,
seen as
just
better than
continue,
other
bro.
people. I
All
said
right,
the
whatever,
same
bro.
thing.
Whatever.
You know, it's
Just
with
continue.
Maverick. No. What I've seen with all the lives and shit.
Bro, there's
You haven't.
something
You
called
wait.
facts. Can you pull it
Wait.
up?
You just
Pull up
want to
your
be.
claims,
No.
and
You know.
I'd just
No.
rather
Hold
see the evidence.
on. Wait. Let me
Aye.
finish. You just want to be seen as what's it again?
No, this is. I don't care about how I make you feel.
Want,
Don't talk about how I make you feel.
I
You want
don't
to
have
be
to
seen
say anything.
as.
How I.
Where does that come from? That's your feelings,
You
isn't
want to
it?
be seen as.
How are you going to talk about I
You
want
to be seen as
Are you
strictly
stupid?
black.
All right,
You
let's
just want to
move
be
on,
seen
brothers.
as strictly
Hey,
black. That's the thing. You're the idiot. You're the.
Please,
I said
let's move on,
superiority
man.
let's
complex.
move on.
You're just the retard that screams.
Never going to get anywhere with
Alright,
these
this guy
people.
has.
Bro.
What these
Say
people?
whatever
Are
you
you
feel
alright?
like, man. Say whatever you feel
Bro,
like.
this guy has
Don't
mental health
care
issues,
about facts.
Yeah,
Say whatever you feel like, innit?
You were waffling. I told you superiority complex because they want to
Hey,
be
let's
seen as
move
better
on.
than
Let's
other
get
people.
back to the topic.
And you were waffling hard.
I can't
You
wait.
won't come off the
Listen.
mic, fam. See the Du'ul bro.
You what? Okay,
Come
Khaled,
off
I
the
don't know why you
mic,
allow
man.
people with mental issues
Then
here.
come off the
This person
mic,
is
fam.
mentally not alright.
Come off the mic,
You're not
son.
mentally alright.
Come off the mic.
You're not mentally alright.
Come off the mic.
No.
Stay safe, man. I can't bother to do this.
You guys are both right.
This guy is he's mental.
So-
He's mental.
So mad, man. Tell him sleep, man. Tell him to go. It's not your night, man. So يرسخ العاو, man.
Wallah, this guy has
Maverick.
mental issues, fam. I told him superiority complex.
Listen. Let's get back to chat, man.
He just wants to qail 24/7.
No, I can't bother to debate all. Yeah, man. I can't bother all of that. Anyway, guys, what's going on? Let's get back to the topic. Dooms, what are you telling me? Let's get back to the topic, man. We don't talk about this. How did you not feel about this, man? Nah, يرانا استمانت يراقبوا بينا then Maverick. Taxi ban يرسعنا innit? He knows. I know Maverick person. He knows. He's like, hey, I'm gonna look at him now. He knows he's looking at me. I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna be like, yo, taxi man, you're a fool, man. No them ones. He needs a taxi ride. You know them ones.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna add into the point that like somebody mentioned earlier, I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about Black Lives Matter and how that
was me.
And it has not
I just find it ironic that Somalis we're not like Black Lives Matter. They say it's not for us, blah blah. But we continue to benefit from what they do for the equality and the rights. I mean, Black Lives Matter is just another name, but it's been going on.
Wasn't that the civil rights movement? I believe.
Yeah, civil rights movement, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but in a way, like we can talk shit about it all we want, yeah. But realistically, us as a recent immigrant group, we're benefiting from all the all the people
100%.
I don't think anyone
I
would
just
call
find
it
this a
in
bit
their
funny,
skin.
man.
We hate the civil rights movement. That's dumb in itself. Anyone with color in their skin can't hate the civil rights movement because without it, you be holler. You have no rights.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we benefit a lot from that. I just wanted to point out though, within that movement, I feel like for us, because we are Muslim, you know what I mean? And we're not just like recent Muslims. We're some of the earliest Muslims in the world, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but Somali people are one of the oldest Muslims in the world. And I feel like a lot of people, they kind of look at the Black identity as a lens of like, you know, you're Christian and you, again, you know, you look this type of way and this is what you are. And it's very like, you know, diverse. And
Assalamu
whatnot.
alaikum.
But with-
Alaikum assalam.
Alaikum
Yes,
assalam.
my brother. Yeah, carry on, Malala.
But with us, it's like I've had conversations with people within the Black Lives Matter movement and how like obviously Somalis are very supportive with it. But when it comes to Islamophobia and issues with us, I don't get the same level of support. I don't know if you guys notice that. I don't have to, but it would be nice. It would be nice.
You have to.
I'm just saying it would be nice to also get.
I
the same
know.
level of
I understand
support.
where you come from, but sis, I'm trying to.
Can I come to that? I got a reason. Can I come there?
Yeah, come through, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the reason I'm Somali and I've seen this issue like Black Caribbean and Africans and Somalis. It's a cultural issue. Somalis, alhamdulillah, that's our deen. Things like racism, we can't stop it. It's man-made. You can't stop what hatred in a man's heart. Yeah, we can pray our du'as for all the evil in this world. Like when we die, we've got no control in this dunya. Like who hates us, who loves us. So when Black people see we prioritize our religion, our deen, alhamdulillah, for them they think, God's not going to save us when the white man denies us job or housing. And that's the reason. It's a cultural issue. Plus, Somalis were not enslaved by the Europeans. We fought them many, many times. Yes, the British came to, I'm from Hargeisa, Somaliland itself. Yeah, they came because they had bigger weapons, but they didn't enslave us and humiliate us for hundreds of years. But they've done it, subhanAllah, to the West Africans, yeah? So I think there's where the tension comes from historically.
So do you think that they're intimidated by that, or like?
Now Somalis, we got a stronger culture. Like for example, a Somali man talking about he hates Somali women in public, which is dumb. But all my life, I've seen Black men slag off their own women, like Nigerian men talking about Nigerian men are ugly, they wear wigs. Like
not all like that. No, I don't think so. Not all people like that.
No, but I've seen that like deliberately. You don't see a Chinese man do that, or Indian man, or a Jewish man say, I hate my women, rare, make music. They do it in the music, the rap videos. It's obvious, and a lot of them, the Black footballers are always
nowadays.
White women.
Sorry, bro. Calm down. Yo, bro, calm down. We're on a panel, yeah. I'm trying to say, do you think, like everyone else is saying, look, at the end of the day, I don't think everyone's like that, so I don't really like the way we all generalize everything. Just because you see 1-2 people like that, do you think all the communities are like that?
The Somalis definitely have the similar issues, the poverty.
But we are following it. Imaka, right now, left, right, center. Yeah. I'm saying left, right, center. If you go online, as Ridley always says, there's a lot of this. I don't know if it's the new generation. A lot of Somali hatred between us as well. I see a lot of in-house fighting, in-self feminine fighting as well between us.
Nigerians are calm.
But let's just forget. Let's just forget other people in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you know, I don't really. Come through.
Can I wait? Always again. What the sister was talking about before about we were, because you know the term black, we're not I don't know what she really said about the term black. We're not seen as black, or you know, Islam, because we have Islam. We don't.
Sorry, I'm not.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah. What I meant is like, I, for example, and me and a bunch of my group of friends, feel very tied to the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, we've marched, we've done the whole everything. You know, but the issue that I've noticed is when we bring up issues of Islamophobia, and obviously, you know, being a Black Muslim, there's also another layer to that too, right? That we have to face, and then you throw in women into that. It's another layer, right? So we're bringing up these issues when I don't notice the same outrage or sympathy or as allies from this community, and I'm wondering why.
But I'm asking you, sister, can I come there, Khalid? Can I come in there?
Yeah.
I'm saying, why are you surprised though? Why are you surprised? Like, end of the day, you can't change the white man's nature. They're Protestants. They came from Ireland, Scotland. They don't recognize us as humans. So why are we begging?
I'm not talking about white people. I'm not talking about white people. I'm not looking for anything with them. I kind of like know what they are, but I'm talking about Black people.
Oh, you know what it is. You know why? It's because the
no music, bro.
You know the term black.
Copyright.
as a race is a recent thing, isn't it? Because so basically back then, let's say before there was a like mass influx of Muslim migrants and stuff, the black term was just mainly used for West African people or Christian black people, and then when Muslims started coming in, and then new Muslims that were black, they didn't really conform to that label, because black is a social construct. The whole race was made by the white people to differentiate others. So I would say it's not really for us as Muslims. It's not really for us as Muslims, but it's for the black people, like as in skin color. Because
I disagree, brother. Can I come there? Because like Somalis have the same issue in Toronto. There's a huge murder rate between Somalis, huge number of young Somali men in prison. Same in London, all the time, stabbing, shootings all the time. Same in Minnesota. Somalis have the same socio-economic oppression that a lot of the African Americans have. So you can't say Somalis were unique. If we were rich, we had lots of businesses. But the race, you're saying, Islam. But we haven't got the luxury. So can I finish? We haven't got the luxury to say, we're superior, we're doing incredibly better than them. We've got our own private schools. Our kids are doing amazing in school. A lot of Somalis are failing in the Western world.
You're misunderstanding me. I never said
that's what racism is. It's about oppression.
No, I'm not saying Somalis was again differentiating from black people, as in
they do though. They do. I see all the time.
No. I mean in terms, because we're Muslim, innit? And once again,
but the religion doesn't stop us.
Yeah, but how many other black people are Muslim as well, man? Come on, if you're gonna say the Muslim thing, how many Senegalese? What are you talking about?
No. What I'm saying is our struggles overlap with black people. Yes, I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is the Muslim, the struggles of the Muslim doesn't overlap with the majority of the black people. Of course, there's black Muslims from West Africa, South Africa, and all that, and they're included.
And the Caribbean, South America, and the UK, and North America. Come on,
they're included in this. But what I'm saying is because
so we're gonna say, should we say black Muslims then?
Yeah,
that's a better term, not us. Like you're trying to say, come on.
Because once again, historically, the Muslim label wasn't really attached to the Western black term. Because the struggles in the West were different to the ones now, because we're Muslim, our Muslim struggles. So it doesn't really overlap with the majority of black people. So they don't see it as really necessary to get involved. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying we're different. Our struggles are different.
I saw this recently. Do you who watches Abes and Preach? The Ethiopian guy.
My God.
They kept getting in it. I watched the episode where they were talking about the whole struggle should and this conversation, I think, is similar. It came up. Should other black people, brothers and sisters, should they care about the Muslim struggle? Should you really? Because the Ethiopian brothers, like, no one cared about the Tigray, this, that. Do you get where I'm coming from?
What can you do? You can't, beg a whole, community. You can't beg a whole, demographic. At the end of the day, our struggles, of course, our struggles are the same. Were a lot of the times viewed as the same, but within us.
Do you think because of the Somali? No, but do you think that's because of us Somalis right now, innit? Yeah. We fit into so many different struggles. Is this our problem? Sister Dooms, Ishmael, and Winter Freeze. It's because we fit into so much problems.
We've
got issues with poverty. Oh, go on, brother. Go on.
Okay. That's why I keep saying this whole black label, the whole black term. No one should take it. As in, I believe West Africans, anyone should not be identified as black. They should identify as their own ethnic group. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's naive.
So, one at a time.
I'm not saying that everyone should do it. I'm not saying everyone is going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But what I'm saying, one of the solutions is that, once again, because there's really nothing that unites black people other than the struggles, isn't it? There's nothing really foundational that unites us.
The famous TikToker left a comment. famous TikTok left a comment up there. I see you, another sister from Canada.
Yeah,
She's in
all I'm
Somali.
yeah.
What do you think about this comment on the board?
In a way, I
disagree.
agree. In a way, I agree. And in a way, I disagree.
I disagree.
How can we call ourselves Muslim if we are oppressing others and like pretending we worship God, but we treat others like shit? We just
Oppression?
because we've got different
Come on, man.
features. Let's
That's
be
an
honest,
inner.
Somali.
Nah, but that's
We've got
just inner
different features.
stupid.
But
What do you
can I
mean?
finish my point? Let me finish my point. Like if we're walking down the street, a Somali man, like you, Khalid, you're dark skinned, you know, or Nigerian man, the police don't care. They just see you as two dark skinned guys. Yeah, you don't care. One's Muslim, goes to the masajid, does your fajr. The other one is a Christian, whatever. He goes to Sunday church. They don't care. They just see, are you two ends, innit?
But can I say something, Winterfree?
Yeah, go on.
Just real
Go on.
quick. So I feel like with the Somali people, it's I think we're very unique, and I'm not just saying that because I'm Somali, because we are also very ancient Muslims, right? And we were never forced into Islam. So there's also that where, like, you know what I mean? It was never forced upon us. And then also Somali people don't also think that they're better than, for example, Black people. They also view themselves better than white people. And every other nation in the world, regardless of merit or whatever. You know what I mean?
Some superior complex.
I swear to God, they're
Superior
neighbors. They're neighbors, the Ethiopians,
I've read
right?
I know. I've seen. I've read that.
I've literally seen Somali refugees who literally can't speak English, who come to the country, right? Who I've assisted and whatnot, who look in Somali. They will talk down about this Adan person. Like, no, there's no fear. There's no.
Yeah, I've seen that a million times over the years. Yeah. Like,
so you're saying we've got a superior complex.
They think they're better than Arabs. They think they're better than Black people. They think they're better than Hindis. They think they're better than white people. I feel like the Somali is a little bit different.
Okay, can I ask a question then? Yeah? So where did all this sort of immigrant, they don't like us, or where did this victim mentality? Because if you listen to some of my streams this year,
we're in the West because we grew up in the West. That's where this came from. Because
as refugees, we came as refugees. Yeah,
absolutely.
We messed up our country, civil war. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think to myself, like, because some of the times when I'm here, sorry, can you mute up your mic, brother? There's some background noise. So, like I was saying, I feel like some of the rhetoric, all right, if we've got that superior complex and bullshit about us, because I read this in one book about one guy when he was going around Africa, and Somali do hardly in it. He played that kind of arrogance, your pride, in it, yeah. And so where did this all of this bullshit come from? Because when you hear a lot of bros, was it just every immigrant when they come into a new place, it's like you gotta test the block, you get where I'm coming from this?
Yeah, like I think it has to do with like if you obviously talk to our parents, right? And then our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they like when it comes to resilience and like Somalis are very, very resilient people. You know what I mean? Mashallah, they can go through hell and come back, so they don't really see themselves as victims. Yeah. Whereas here, because of, we're obviously most of us are in first world, countries in the West and whatnot. And we are aligning ourselves with the other group of people that somewhat, look similar to us, but then we have very different, like usually religions and history. Like somebody touched on earlier, slavery impacts generations. It's still impacting people to this day, and that's something that absolutely, and that's something that Somali people do not identify with.
And we didn't experience it. So, but then again, okay, cool. Say if people didn't identify with the refugee culture and all of that, and all of this that's going on right now, and all of this, should they sympathize as well? And vice versa, if you're gonna say that.
Say that again.
I said, on vice versa, yeah. Should people sympathize with our little refugees behind Hagan and Kit?
I don't honestly.
Do you really think that vibe? And then when you're like, they don't really see us there, or they don't share us sort of this when it comes to this type of, so vice versa. Do you see that?
To be honest with you, the older I get, the more I'm not searching for that sympathy. Like I've realized that I'm not going to get it. You know what I mean?
Same, yeah.
I've accepted it. I was like, okay. So me, I will feel somewhat of a connection towards like a Bosnian, person. Because I understand that they came as refugees, they came, and they're Muslim, you know what I mean? Or somebody that's like the Syrian refugees that just recently came, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's not just race, you know what I mean? And religion I hate to say it will override it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I weigh in?
Yeah, come through it. Come through it.
Okay, basically, what I was trying to say before was that because this whole black unity is the whole black unity is failing and doesn't really have any substance to it, is because of the whole term, the whole label is once again due to white people. They labeled us as that, and the only really commonality we have with other other black people is the struggles that we have in it, the struggles that we go through. And struggles is not something. It's not, you can't just have that struggle as something that unites you. You must have something else. As in, how in Somalis we have our culture, our DNA, with our language that unites us, as well as our struggle. But if the only thing that is supposed to unite groups of people is struggle, then it will fail, because if other people are labeled as black, and then they come and they have a different way of life, that way of life will bring about other struggles, which will not overlap with the other struggles of the same group that you're in. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's
I
a good
get
point.
you.
Struggle
I get you,
is not
but
the only thing that unites people. Can't
but
really
sometimes
unite people.
struggles wouldn't. Like, think about it. If you're walking down the road, say if us lot were walking down the road, group of other Mados were walking down the road, NF spun scooting money, and we all got targeted because of Chirkena. Isn't that a struggle that we all share? Like,
No,
as
of
as
course.
isn't that a struggle? The Dooms and Winter Freeze, Ishmael.
Of course,
Am I
of course.
lying? Say if us for Melbourne Chog Nimaka,
Yes.
another group of Afro Mado, Melbourne Chog, West Indian countries, Melahan, and we all got attacked. So they're there now.
Of course, that's
Because of what
circumstantial.
Chirkena, isn't that sort
Yeah,
of
enemy
Of
is white
course, of course,
supremacy. That's
of
the
course.
main
Yeah,
enemy.
exactly.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I don't think it's that as well. I think it's more systematic. I don't
You
think
know,
it's just how down people.
you
So
know,
I feel
it's
like there. I
circumstantial.
think that's another war that they're trying to, pitch us up in.
You know, it's circumstantial, isn't it? If if me, you, a Nigerian and a Ghanaian, and let's say a Sudanese, we're walking down the street and a group of supremacists try to attack us, of course we're gonna, come together and fight back. We're gonna come together and fight back.
And why I disagree with white
but
supremacy, because there's white Muslims, there's white other Muslims as well. Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed Usuf from Holland. Jump on. I'd love to hear a Dutch point of view. I want to hear a Dutch point of view. Alas goed. Yeah, but I like Dooms and Ismail and Winter Freeze. When you say white supremacy, don't you think there's white Muslims? There's abundant white Muslims as well out there.
No, I'm talking about the Western world, like Britain, France, Germany, like the United States. They'll never let our countries of origin and Africa develop. Well, I've worked in banks in security. They tell me they still control Africa, the resources, the wealth, the diamonds, the gold, the chocolate, the wealth. They'll never let us be free. It's just the white man's. They're shaitans really in this world. They'll never let us develop our lands. They
Speaking
pay
about
for
France.
France controls West Africa.
What do you
the
lot think of
price.
this? Do you lot think of the video we're playing right now? Do you think that the Baha, like, what do you lot think about this? I've got a video of the guys. They had an interview with the guys just before the guy slapped him. They're on some.
Can I ask you a question though?
Go on, sis.
Maybe you can clear this up for me. So I heard, I don't know how true this is, but they were saying that somebody was saying that the reason why he was slapped was because he established ties back into the Arab world, and the person that slapped him was mad about that.
Yeah, sis, there's a video. I'm not gonna lie to you. 4 minutes before, like literally, the guy they were interviewing him, and I'm gonna bring it up for us. I'm gonna look for it, and it was something about he tried to call us a disgrace, that we're not culturalistic or something along them lines. But what do you mean when you say he's trying to make Arab ties? How would you do it?
So I think France. I'm not too sure. Maybe somebody else can correct me. But there was like I know in the Arab world they boycotted products from France and
Yes.
Hard, right? Yeah. So then I think France changed whatever law or bill that they were putting place, and this was a result of him getting slapped, was because the guy that slapped him was mad that he did that. He wanted whatever. Yeah, I heard something along the lines.
I got the video for us. I got the video right now. Just the guy was slapped him. Watch this. It's the guy that slapped him. It's a 1 minute video. Winter Freeze, can you mute up? It's the audio. Yeah, watch this.
comme monsieur, racontez. Ils sont timides? C'est vrai?
Non, mais on sait que vous avez tendance à détourner les propos qui peuvent être donnés dans ce journal, dans ce média.
Vous avez un exemple, par exemple, de propos qu'on aurait détournés?
Je ferai pas plus de commentaires.
Yo, what do you guys think of that? That's
He
literally.
definitely had an agenda.
I saw that. I was like, boy. When I saw that video, I was thinking to myself, he actually recorded him 3 minutes, 2 minutes before. So this was pre-planned.
He came with the wrong reasons, but a good result. That's the thing.
They can't blame us for this one.
Exactly.
Exactly. You get me? They can't blame us. That's too LI. They can't blame us for that one.
They'll find a way. They'll find a way. Innit?
That one's Islam free, Muslim free. Okay, but I think
The
1 billion.
Yeah, the camera.
1 billion people must have loved it. What did he say? Sam said he slapped like a female. I know. Everyone's laughing. I know he
Yeah,
slapped.
it was kind of like a. It wasn't like a hard.
He was too
slap.
close.
run away.
No,
Trying to
I
run
think.
away.
Do you know what it is? I think he was too close. You know the angle. Like you can't get a good swing. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't one of them ones. You know Ma'alim or you know them times. Bah! You won't wanna.
He was
crazy.
trying to cut as well. He was trying to cut after as well.
You can't cut, man. You're getting criminal.
can't
Like,
cut
what did he
over
say?
that,
He said he lived in his mom's house. He's an
Yeah.
anarchist. He believed in medieval stories, right wing views. Okay, he sounds suspect.
Hitler book. Don't forget the
Huh?
Hitler book.
The Hitler
Yeah, Man
book as
Kampf.
well.
No, I swear that was his cameraman. Didn't cameraman have the Man Kampf?
Yeah, I
was
think
it
the
him?
cameraman did. Yeah, I think it was the cameraman.
Yeah,
Oh,
even
wow.
the cameraman was on some shit.
Wow.
So these people are the people that actually run people down. Christchurch, Einken. I know where you lot are gonna come from, but I'm not trying to head it that way. What do you think about these people's psyches?
It's been twisted. You know, it's been twisted. They
Big
they
man
just
Dusty said-
hate other people.
Look how big man.
That's
That's
true.
so
Right?
true.
That's big up Dustyfoot a madman. What did he say? That's true. But I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that I thought, oh shit. I thought to myself, you know, because nigga Kadbu High State, you know, sort of I was thinking, don't like
Don't
nigga,
do it. Don't do it.
I was like, don't do it. Don't let me say he's an Aki, innit? Don't say he's an Aki, and don't say he's one of them Algerian, North Moroccans, you know, North Africans that thank God it was a French Adan guy that believed in this. I was thinking, okay.
If
But
it was
he's getting a
Algerian-
lot of stick though. He's getting a lot of stick from right wing, left wing, Musliminta, the liberals.
Yeah,
I think
because-
Macron fucked up.
Yeah.
I think
he
Macron
did.
fucked
He
up.
really did. He really did. Well,
He fucked up when he married a 65-year-old woman, actually, when he married his teacher. But
yeah.
hey, that's
Oh.
interesting, or someone. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen that.
I swear his
Shots
stepson
taken.
is like a year younger or something than him. That's mad. That's disgusting. I can't. That's mad.
I'm looking like when I saw like when I you know some people got door number Huawei big head yeah.
He wanted some of that Cuba, innit?
I don't know what he wanted, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Macron. What do you think of Macron? Do you think he's a clown? Do you think
He's a-
shall I skip the game?
He's
What's
a
your thoughts?
retard, innit? He's a retard with hate in his heart. All he, you know, is
I thought he was very liberal. I thought he was the left. I thought he was like some. Was he an independent? I don't know. I thought he was a progressive liberalist that was on this change and then when I saw that ban, imagine this here. Another aspect. Imagine like again, Sister Fatma always highlighted the sisters that imagine you can't wear a hijab until you're 18 if you're going to school.
That's mad. And
Like,
you can
that's fun.
and you can go you can walk in the street with a bikini and shit.
Yeah, look at the irony in that.
That's mad, wallah.
That's kind of
Like-
crazy. And then France, I looked at the thing. They've got actually a rule that says what's it called? Freedom. You know, under the libertary whatever they was.
It's bullshit. The whole thing.
Freedom of religion.
Freedom of religion.
What the fuck?
Bro, you know before when you said, you're scared it would be an Algerian slapping him, innit?
Yeah, it looked like one. I thought he was one of them North. Yeah, you know how it is.
If it was an Algerian, he should have done way worse than a slap. Cause what France done to Algeria, these man did a whole genocide.
Number one accent. Number one accent.
Yes, number one accent, brother. Right in the build.
Good. I guess, Olala, you're talking about secularism.
No, not secularism. We're talking about the
You said
recent
something about
attack.
Algeria. he just mentioned Algeria. Ismail, yes, the French fucked up Algeria. I agree on you. But why, when it comes to Somalis and secularism, why do they think they always colorate it with colonialism and Christianity? Well, it has nothing to do with that.
Okay, what's your version? Oh, yeah, don't tell me
This
you're
is my
part of the
version.
secularist group. You can't
I'm not a
separate
secular. I'm
Well,
not a
you're-
secularist at all. I'm not.
Okay, so what's the question then, Rad?
I said that if you, for example, Somalia, if I was the president of Somalia, I would have like focused on preserving Somalia's culture, language, and develop the country. And we should develop our own form of secularism without deviating, if you know what I mean.
How can you though?
To be honest with you, it was like that prior to
No,
this
but
war.
what? But the issue is, I'm having, for example, for example, if you want to build a church in Somalia, I wouldn't have any issues with it. But I would want Somalia to remain. Listen, I want Somalia to remain as a Muslim country. But if you look at our religion, our Deen Tenet allows religious tolerance.
Of course,
if you look at it, but if you look at nowadays, there's a big problem with religious extremism, and there has to be a balance.
You said secularism is separation.
I'm not talking about Western
church from state.
secularism. I couldn't, Ismail, wallah, fuck those Somalis who want to separate religion and culture from the country. I do not want Somalia to end up like.
Because secularism is the separation of religion from state. So we should come up with a new word or a new term, because secularism.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ismail, I totally agree with you. Basically, right? Yeah. The problem is, is some of our people, and just like any other people, they want to mimic the West. They want to follow their disgusting version of secularism. If you want to research an ideology, you have to look at the origin of it. If you know what I mean.
It's inferiority complexes everywhere. That's why I keep
No, but I'm just trying to tell you. The other day, I was reading something about democracy. Do you want to follow the democracy of ancient Greece, where they did mad shit and that back in the day? You have to be very careful. I would not want to follow that shit. I want to basically build. For example, I want hair law to be built upon, because you have to look at.
Yeah, but some of the hair law goes against the Sharia now. We all know this.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Come on, a lot of it. Some of the hair law is
about our culture. How do countries? It's Somali speakers. Khalid, how does this country develop? How does a country, like, if you look at Korea, for example, it developed based on its civilization and culture and everything, and its indigenous law and everything. So why can't Somalia not develop? Is basing on its culture and its laws and its civilizations, just like any other country, without outside influence. Because I believe that we don't need outside influence. And what Sister Dooms mentioned earlier on about Somalia back in the 60s and 70s, it was great back then because there was industrialization and that. But what messed up the country is two combinations: tribalism and outside influence, and the Arab League.
Ooh.
Because me as a Somali, I'm against outside influences.
Can I make a point though, really quick? Because of, I know what you're saying with outside influences, but if you look at like Somali history, even though we haven't intermixed or had foreigners interject within our culture based off of our nomadic history and whatnot, we, based off of where we're located, we're bound to have foreigners coming in and out. You know what I mean? Foreign influence will happen to Somalia regardless. Like if you look at
just like any other country, exactly. just like any other country, but we didn't mix. And also we were a coastal people that traveled to many places like India, Middle East, even far as Malaysia and China.
Yes, China, man. You don't need to watch Saeed Mogadishu, man. First African to visit China, like back in the day, the Yang Dynasty. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
whoa, the Yang Dynasty. I was like, yo, man, what's up in this motherfucker?
They were trading
doing canned food. I was back. One of the he beat Ibn Battuta on him, and I was like, how come no one knows about this guy? Like when I looked at his thing, I was like,
SS. Have you seen this on Wikipedia? The Somali Bedouin is called the Bedouin, is an ancient boat. Basically, apparently, we also traded with the Polynesians.
Do you think so? Wow. I need to see that. Have you got a link or something? Someone drop a link.
I know what he means. The Bedouin is basically
the sewing boat. The dhow, similar to the.
Do you believe that Juran and them were us, man? Though you guys, do you believe that we had that?
SS, I want to bring this issue up. The two issues that affected me. Why do certain Africans try to claim our civilization? Why do some, even Adam people, I've heard it from 3 different people. European
we
people
don't
try to
have-
claim. No, I've even hear it from some people who are extremely ignorant, some Africans. They say that Somalis had no civilization, but they praise Ethiopia. But our civilization goes back thousands of years.
I think it's
Dooms, you want
because
to take this one?
yeah, because with us, I think there's like 2 elements with that. I think with us, I think we had more of an oral tradition. Like we didn't have like a written language until the 60s, but we had the Latin script. I think there were other
But
scripts.
we did have ancient
Yeah.
have ancient alphabets, but there's even ancient inscriptions in Somalia that's not even being deciphered. And don't forget, because I always mention this. Have you ever heard of the Osmania script?
Yes,
This is the guy that introduced us to it.
I actually
Basically,
did hear
if I tell you right now, yeah, I can put it on camera. I've got 2 books in Osmania, and I can read and write in Osmania, and I've got a page I think I'm going to create soon in Osmania.
See, I think I think the majority of the population wasn't able to do that, and I think they kind of relied on Arabic prior to like the Latin script and whatnot. So as opposed to Ethiopia, right? And another thing also is a lot of people when they think about like Ethiopia history is it's kind of tied into Christianity, Orthodox Christianity and whatnot. Whereas we're Muslim, right? Obviously we're ancient people prior to Islam as well,
But do you know what we worship prior to Islam?
Yes, I think it was a form of like a sky god. Still monotheistic.
Yes, because the Somalis, and this is the issue I have here. Why are Somalis so extremely ignorant about our history? Because before Islam, the Somalis, the Cushitic people, mainly the Somalis and the Oromas, the Habashis were believing in Christianity. But at the time, the Somalis and the the Somalis and the Oromas believed in a god called Waq, Eberwaq, like Waq something. But the majority of Somalis converted to Islam, but Ethiopians have converted to Christianity. But there's about 2 or 3 million of. But if basically the Oromas, our counterparts, have carried on the religion. Even in Ethiopia, they have a festival, a Waq festival, where they go to the river, do some next thing. I'm not sure what it's called yet, but it's on YouTube. But my point is, they carried on the religion. But the problems are
we do have that city, Abu the Waq.
Abu Dwaq, Barwaqo. We still got what's it called? Yeah. Ayale. Now I heard about this, but Walala, don't you think we gave that up? And when was this?
No, but what I'm trying to tell you is, we shouldn't be ignorant of our history. Like, why are Somalis, when it comes to like ancient history?
I'm on Ridley. I'm on Ridley, man. I'm on Ridley. What Ridley's on,
Yeah,
This is what I had a tear up with what's his name, Everlast. Me and Everlast always get each other. I'm like, all right, you do history. I'm now.
Well, let's stick to culture. Let's stick to culture, for example, with Somali people.
That's history.
Like,
who knows, man? Who knows? I don't even believe you Asla with the cape. You know that cave painting in that scale. I don't even think it was this type of Somali. I think that's clear.
I don't know, but the point is, I want to move away from history right here. But you do agree that we are ancient people. We are we've always been the same people, just like the ancient Greeks. Going back.
No, our ethnicity is like, what, 5,000, 6,000 years old? 5,000 years old. That's longer than most modern ethnicity.
Are you sure, you guys? Some people say we're admixture. Some people say we're a bit of a remix, man. Come on, man. Especially listen to this here.
Time ago, Khaled.
Listen, this panel right now, we're a majority Northerners. We're a bit mixed, you get where I'm coming from. We all got that Arab. Now listen, listen. Now let me just finish, my bro. Let me just land in it. Yeah, this is all I want to say. We've got that story. Sheikh Saeed Hagasu Keimid, Isaac Hagunu Keimid, Arab Ban Keimid.
But that's a story. That's a myth. You realize that's a myth.
Can I make a point really quick?
Go ahead, because come on, sis.
Really quick, just to dispel a lot of things. So when I did like the 23andMe, I know you guys know about that little whatever ancestry test, right?
Yes. Say what you did it. You
yeah. So obviously, hold up. That only goes back. Like I think it only goes back 300 to 500 years. So that it's more for like New World people, like Latinos, African Americans.
Of course. Yeah. I feel sorry for you, Dooms. You took the
hold up.
Let the girl land. Let the sister land. Let her finish.
Before you feel sorry for me, I was able to upload those 23andMe results to GEDmatch.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah, so that goes way back.
So, that's your admixture. That's basically the Somali ethnicity.
What is the Somali ethnicity? So I got in my results, like I'll just read it out to you. 51.97% African, 46.17% basal, 1.40%. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. BASAL. I they're ancient Eurasians.
Eurasian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somalis are a mix of ancient Horn Africans and ancient West Asians that came back. That's basically it.
Yeah,
that's
Say that again. Let the sister finish. I want to hear this. Say that again, sister. You're what? So repeat that again for me. I'm trying to fathom this.
Yo, I'm telling you, it tripped me out too. So the African is like 51.97%, right?
Yeah.
The basal, BASAL, is 46.17%, and then EHG is 1.40, and then Siberian 0.46. So
what? Siberian? Whoa.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? You know what's even weird? You know what's weird? You know what's
Siberian? Nah, man. I'm not having it. Whoa. Hang on a minute, man. Someone said this, yeah. I get pissed off here. Everyone keeps calling me this.
Yeah. Oh my god. That kind of is true, Loki.
But what do you lot think of what do you lot think of this right here? Like I was doing some Google search right here. What's that movie? Who watched that movie from the 90s? This is my favorite film. It's called People Under the Stairs, basically. I forgot this child actor's name, yeah. But this guy goes to
what type of films were you watching when you were a child?
No, I never watched it.
No, it's a black old school. It's a black old school horror movie. It's a black. It came from the 90s. There's a child actor in it. Yeah.
What's the plot?
1 second.
Put the link in. No. I might have to watch that. What's it about though?
This is a horror movie. What is it about?
That's a madman, man.
Oh yeah, it's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie.
It's going back to the genetic thing.
Yeah, sis, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Sis, man, come on, man. Well, I'm gonna watch the stream back here. I'm like, what? Siberian Banuguchida, this Banuguchida. Say that again one more time. Let me hear this again because I'm still baffed.
Oh my god. So 51.97% African, 46.17% basal, 1.40% EHG, and 0.46% Siberian. So the Siberian is very low.
Okay.
Just for the record.
Okay, I want to hear. Okay, Siberian. I want to hear. Who knows what Bayesian is? What the fuck is that? Someone tell me that.
Basically, it's basically just ancient West Eurasia. Basically Eurasia, but just ancient West Eurasia. That's what Somalis thing. That's our ethnicity. We're indigenous Horn of Africans mixed with ancient West Eurasians. That's us basically.
They just married each other all the time.
Yeah.
Someone said this. I believe with our ancient ancestors Nilotic, Western Eurasia, DNA testing. Oh right, it's random.
The ancient Horn of Africans. The ancient.
So what are you saying, son? So I looked the other day, Ishmael, Sister Dunes. Ishmael must have said like there was a migration out of the place, then back into the place. Do you not believe that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. There's evidence.
Humans came from Africa apparently. So they migrated out and then thousands. That this was 150,000 years ago. The first out of Africa migration, and then 5,000 years ago. There was an influx into the Horn of Africa region, innit? And then that's what we're basically of ancient Horn of Africans and ancient West. A lot of West Africans have 2.5 West Eurasian. Africa and the whole of the world. People have been coming in and out of Africa since time, innit? So we can't be surprised.
Especially also if you look at like our
North
language
Africa,
family as well. Like we are part of the Afro-Asiatic language family, right?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
How the hell did that? That's a good question. Because I was watching a video and it was all similar Cushitic languages, isn't it? Yeah, and it was crazy similar. Do you get where I'm coming from? They were all trying to say the similar words, and I was like, whoa. I was like, all right. But how ancient? This is the question, man. I might have to do this. How ancient are we? I want to do a fact finding one stream that we have to look at deep.
A lot of people say, a lot of sources say 5,000 years old.
And do you think it's the same one as us? Like all of us, like me, you, Dooms, Rad,
No,
the same looking.
They're probably way taller.
Well,
Hey, how many of you lot?
I don't know.
How many of you lot? About languages? How many of you lot? Yeah, speak Somali in public, and you had like people randomly ask you, "What is your language?" and that.
It happened to me speakers corner. It happened to me speakers one time. And then I had, the group of Medkhalis, imagine this, it was me and brother Noor. You're gonna see him in the next video, yeah. We're talking in Somali. Some Adam woman came up to us, yeah, and she was baffed with the language. She Allah, let's say, and then we got, them crazy Medkhalis. Saudi Arabia. They're like, I was like, bro, you lot the Deen police. Check it, you don't know we bedeling, you know that?
The cucks of Saudi.
Wallahi, the Nati ba up there. She's like, what the hell? I didn't even come to us none of this.
Bro,
but getting in the lay up there, she was like, yo, this language is serious, you know that? And this woman, she was a linguistic person.
I've been mistaken, when I've been speaking Somali, I'm mistaken it for Swahili or Arabic or even what do you think Sri Lankans speak? What do the Sri Lankans
they speak? Sinhalese.
No, Tamil.
No.
Something like that.
No.
But I think they say
Tamil people are Sinhalese are people who are the majority in Sri Lanka, and Tamils are the minority. Tamil is spoken in South India and in Sri Lanka.
Oh,
is it?
Is it? Are you sure, bro?
Pretty sure. So it's Tamil.
No.
No.
At the end of the day.
But Ismail, Mohammed, do you think we are the only African group in the UK that speaks our own language compared to other Africans?
No,
because
no.
I've seen hella Nigerians.
Congolese. I've got Congolese friends. That man
the
speaks
reason why
fluent.
I'm talking about commonly. No, the reason why I asked that carefully, because if I Google up
to each other, you mean?
No, if I Google up local stats and you can look at common language areas, the majority of African languages, like in Bristol, in Sheffield, in Nottingham, when they say that what's your language, they show like the Asian languages and the European languages. The only African language that pops up is Somali. Now and again, it might pop up as Yoruba, it might pop up as Shona. But if you go to any city, they ask the people, what's your language? The African, it's going to be the Somali.
A lot of my Nigerian brothers, they speak Nigerian as well. A lot of they speak Nigerian like to each other. So I don't know.
No, that's pidgin. No. What I'm trying to say to you is that other African countries, I did research and even asked them, they rather speak English or French than their language because if you Google countries in Africa, the majority speak European languages, but they do speak their indigenous languages. But if you look at Djibouti, for example, it's a French-speaking country because French is in their education, their news, you name it.
Djibouti, it's Djibouti. Even my
guys, I'm coming back here. Systems, hold up the panel for me, Walala. 2 minutes.
With Djibouti is just more multicultural, isn't it? Is a fusion of Anfar, Somali, French, Yemeni. The whole place is just a fusion of cultures. You get me? It's more of a multicultural society than the rest of Horn of Africa, because there's different groups of people in there. You get me?
And it's like a French-speaking country, like as opposed to like obviously Somali, we don't speak. It's not an English-speaking country. Same thing with Ethiopia. It's not an English-speaking country. So usually, the immigrants or refugees or whatever will speak their native tongue as opposed to
That's very true. And go.
Dayom, I'm assuming you're from Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the most common African language from the continent? Common, you're gonna hear.
African, I would say Somali.
Again, same in UK. I'm assuming there are people that speak African languages, but why? Like, why is that the case?
You know why? I think it's because
you don't notice with our parents. Like, if you look at other countries in Africa, if you look at the history, we had like 3 colonial powers who had to subdue us, but they never had influence. They never had influence on us, but we still speak our language. Like, some don't even speak that.
Which is
our
fascinating.
Our way of life and our culture, it just stands out. The way we, conduct ourselves, it stands out. You get me?
I'll give you an example. Ismail, I'll tell you a story. I watched something on Africans who are going to Brazil to travel to America one time. This was a documentary. I think it was on Al Jazeera, and I was like scratching my head. Yeah, this one, for example, let's say if we had foreign reporters that were asking us questions, how did you get the money and that, and they're asking us questions of how did you fund your trip from Brazil to America? These Congolese migrants, because Congo is a French-speaking country, the reporter, he's a Frenchman. They start to argue amongst themselves, and I thought to myself, they're arguing in French, but I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck are they not speaking in their language, their tribal language? Because imagine, it doesn't matter if you're speaking in Pidgin, Creole, Ninka, Francisco, Fahmi, what they're talking about. And I'm thinking, what the fuck, man? Like, dude, how would you take that?
You know why?
It's a really good point.
You know why? It's because it's what I think. My opinion is that other Africans can assimilate better. They can take on other things better. Us, we push back. You get me? We push back in ways of lives and all the stuff. Like the way we conduct ourselves is kind of different to everyone else. We're not ashamed or of speaking our language in front of complete ajnabis. We're not ashamed of even just I've seen hella just Somali always walking down with ma'awisis and all sorts up and down the street. We're very we stick out. That's the thing. We don't give up our ways easily. You get me?
Just to tie into what you said, Ismail, that's a really good point, because even historically, based on the location of Somalia and all the people that are all the foreigners that have come to Somalia, and then being in a neighbor country that is historically Christian, I am so surprised that majority of us are not mixed with like Italian, Portuguese, British, and we're not Christian or Catholic. You know what I mean? Like, that's remarkable. Or even
because
Arab.
the reason why I say that is because Somalia is a racially, ethnically homogeneous country.
But is that not also remarkable though? Because you would think that like if you look at the flip side of like, for example, Sudan, right, which is also in the Arab League, is completely different than Somalia. Like, for being real,
they're also they're all sorts like they have, most of them have Arab in them, and they have also Chinese. They have even a lot of ancient the Roman DNA and all that, because the Arabs used to enslave the Romans and Persians, innit? And then once again they would assimilate them into their own society, and then reproduce with them. And in Sudan they did the same, and all sorts. Us, as historically, we tend to stick to our own. Yeah.
Isn't that not remarkable though? Because usually
really is,
that's very rare.
But isn't that but sis, in the global time right now, with globalization, do you think we need to broaden our horizons? Because I left, Ismail said something about Djibouti, innit? You see, with us, do you think that would have been helped us in a way?
No.
So, why would you say no? Why would you say no, bro? I'm sensing some nationalistic no.
No. It's not even on a nationalistic tip. It's because just based off, we're not an isolated country. You know what I mean? We have the longest coastline. No, we have the longest coastline. We're literally like, so many countries have, like, so many different races and people have come to Somalia, like have come to the shores, you know what I mean? Whether it's Barbara or, Mogadishu or whatever the case is, like they've all come there, and they were never able to change the people or conquer the people to what they were, if that makes sense, right? So
they didn't influence us that much.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like, when I look at, like, if you have a bunch of French people and you put them in, like, let's say either Somaliland or like the South, you know what I mean? Like, whatever the case is, the locals or the native people or whatever that are there, the Somali people, they're not gonna turn into like French custom, you know what I mean? And even within Djibouti, it's not fully like, I know like there's some Somali people that are very French, and then some of them are like very Somali.
If French and Italian,
you're saying it causes a culture clash.
It's a culture clash, 100%.
But with us diaspora, with the world globalizing nowadays, who's got that background? Who's outside? Please mute up. So you, yeah. Do you think this is inevitable? I'm trying to use that word inevitable. Yeah, I'll go it out. Yeah. With the global, like, come on, with the diaspora, I'm not sure they're gonna choke, no.
Yeah.
Like, in
No,
the
you're
next
right.
up and coming 10, 20 years, you're gonna see a whole different type of Somali demographic.
100%, because the
Which is
majority
a
of us,
natural, as in this part of the world as well. Go ahead, sis.
majority of Somali people live in the diaspora. You know what I
Right.
mean? And they all
Yeah.
speak different languages all over the world.
People
So
are marrying in and out.
and marry
as
in
well.
and out, you know what I mean? Whatever
That's
the case
prevalent as
is,
well.
they're
But
all
but
Let her finish.
Somalis have
Let her
got
finish. Let her finish the point.
Yeah. So I was
Currencies,
just gonna
usually.
say, like, regardless, like, they're gonna come back home and
Yeah.
influence what happens over there, right? So they're gonna, if somebody's like, I don't know, from Poland or whatever, and they're Somali and they speak Polish, you know what I mean? There's a Somali person that speaks Italian and Arabic and vice versa, all these different languages. It's gonna influence the country.
But Dooms, I understand what you're saying, but the majority is Somalis marry Somalis. Like Somalis, out of all Africans, probably have a low intermarriage rate. But there was one
Probably the
Somali
lowest.
girl. Huh?
Probably the lowest. You're right.
No, but Dooms, but listen to this here. There was a Somali girl, because I'll give you an example. In UK, there's like African and Caribbeans, and the majority of people in UK marry out are Caribbeans, but the Somali girl in Canada was stuttering. She didn't specify, because I know, even though I'm from UK, in Canada, you've got a massive Caribbean population. They outnumber Africans and they outnumber Somalis. But the majority of people in Canada who marry out are those from the islands compared to Africans.
Absolutely. That's true.
But she didn't. But she kept mentioning. She keep bringing black here. They say that it affects Somalis when it comes to colorism and all of that, but it doesn't affect us at all because we are
Canada's a
people.
whole different bubble. I've seen the Canadians. I speak to a couple of Canadian people. It's a whole different. It's a whole
But I want
different
to
thing.
hear Dooms. I want to hear from her side of it. Is it the same situation there? Because you've got the Somalis and the Tamils and Indians who, like, similar to UK, will marry their own. But you have a few Africans, and majority of Caribbeans will marry white people.
Oh, absolutely.
Even Lebanese people.
Absolutely.
Will
Like, I always tell
heavily
people,
marry out.
yeah, you know what's funny? I always tell people that bring up colorism in the Somali community. This is the funniest thing, because I always say, okay, if we had that to the level of what, like in India, for example, if you're not white, you know what I mean, or like light colored, you may not get a job. Okay. But if you compare it to like Somalia, right? Like, we have a demographic of people that are mixed race. You know what I mean? They are technically not in very much, like, they're not in high positions. They're not in places of power. Nobody is really marrying them because of their complexion. So it's kind of like funny that, like, it doesn't really tie into that, like, with Somali people. And I see it here in the West too. Like, I've seen so many different, like, we're a melting pot out here, right? And I've never heard like Somali people be like, oh my God, I want to marry this white person so my kid could have some good hair, or like whatever the case is. It's just
but isn't that the thing that we
I want to make a big deal of it. But why do some people make a big, massive deal? Because the only colorist people I've ever come across in my life are those from the Indian, and Caribbean community, because they got an extreme colorist problem. But in the Somali community, we've got an extreme ethnocentric and clan problem. Where we have no issues of colorism.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I will never understand colorism because I don't really care too much about colorism. But it's a massive problem.
Do you think because it doesn't affect it again? Is it the labels that don't affect us? Is that what you guys are saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like
labels that we're taking on.
Yeah, because if you look at like
even hair, even Timaha, for example, who's been into like a cosmetic hair? You know,
come on, Timaha, I get that, man. Please.
No, I'm just telling you. One time, I wanted to go get some face cream and that, some lotion face cream, and some Coca-Cola. Because I drink a lot of Pepsi and that, I'm a caffeine addict, I went into this shop one time, this Timichilla hair beauty shop. I wanted to go get some Coca-Cola and some face cream, but when I was looking, on top of the count, on top of where the shop is, there was like wigs and all of that and skin lightening cream, but the wigs were like 60-70 pounds. That's like what, 80 or 90 or 100 maybe Canadian dollars your money. I'm thinking, what the fuck, man? Is that how certain people are going to pay for a wig? And these wigs come from bloody India, real hair. India. Imagine wearing someone else's hair, bro.
Yeah, that's true. That's just has to do with like brainwashing, right? For centuries being told
No,
that.
but why? I just don't understand. Yeah, I've seen one
that's
or
what
two
I'm saying,
Somali
bro.
girls.
It's kind of,
You know them
isn't it?
silver hair. I've seen
What's
some
that?
one or two ghetto Somali girls wear like wigs. I'm thinking those two who are tiny minority. I would have said to myself, why the fuck would you wear someone else's hair? There's even men's wigs. Like, why the fuck would you wear someone's hair, or why do you want to lighten your skin if you're qurh already?
To be honest with
Or
you,
even tattoos
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
it's
Tattoos.
go
I
on,
think
sis.
like
Go
okay,
on,
like from a woman's perspective, okay. Obviously, like I have friends from so many different demographics and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of my Somali friends, you know, and I'm not just boasting us. I'm not, you know, I'm being honest. Are very content with what they look like. I'm talking about the girls. These girls range from so many different skin tones, but they're all very content with what they look like. Now, on the flip side, if I put that towards my friends who are quote unquote black, right? Let's say Caribbean or, you know, African, different parts of Africa, because of the legacy of slavery and being told that their features are ugly, blah, 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 they've been brainwashed into believing this. Whereas Somali people, they literally believe they have their own beauty standards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true because with the other Africans, because the sad thing is, yeah, they follow instead of following the African beauty standards, they follow the European beauty standards.
Mm-hmm. And I
But
think,
I remember back in 2005 or 6. Yeah, I was young back then. Yeah, I remember one time. Yeah, I seen this on TV. I think it was Sally. I can't remember. It was an American talk show, and this mulatto guy, yeah, was bare talking shit about black people and that. Yeah, and Naga Muluga, yeah, but this guy's a mulatto guy. Yeah, he kind of looked like that guy from Rosa Parks. I forgot his actor's name. Yeah, he's just sitting there grinning and that, and he's just telling her openly, yeah, shamelessly. Well, I want my wife to be white, and I want her to look like this and that. And the audience were bare cussing this guy out here, and he was wearing a suit, yeah, and he was crossing his legs, like grinning. And I'm thinking, what the fuck, man? That guy was brave.
Honestly, to be honest with you, I really believe, like, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I really believe Somali people think that they look better than Adan people. Like, am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So like, Adam people, come on, man. Have you seen some real Adam people? They
that's
look
what I'm
kind of,
saying.
especially
Like,
in Greek scholar, they look kind of,
you know how the world views like a European ideology of beauty, right? I think
Yeah.
Somali people think that they look better than that European.
And we've
look.
got our own thing. This is the thing. We've got our own.
But you know,
so that kind of
is
that a good thing or a bad thing then?
I think
Everyone in the
it's a great
chat.
thing. I think it's a great
Everyone in
thing.
the chat.
It's a good thing.
Everyone on the panel. What do you guys think?
Right, yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Go ahead, my broski.
It's a good thing. Hey, Khaled, let me ask both of you this question. Khaled, I know you're not married. I don't know about Dooms. I'm not married. What would you do if you met a Muslim woman who's white and she's French and she's Muslim? Would you marry her or you wouldn't marry her? Because me, I prefer
She has to be
someone
French or any Adan.
Let's say she's white, but she's a convert.
Yeah.
But do you think that's going to affect your ability because of
That's a
religion
tough
or
question,
culture?
I'm gonna let Dooms ask it. Dooms is vice versa. Obviously, Nagma Gursan is.
Well, I was gonna say, am I marrying a French woman? What's happening here? What?
No. I'll say okay. This question it applies to both of us, but obviously, you don't know.
No, in terms of like because the reason why I asked it, because if you look at new Muslims who are, let's say, because I've seen this a lot, a Muslim, let's say if a Somali were to convert to Christianity and they say we'll offer you Nagaheni, we'll offer our Adan daughters, we'll offer this and that, the most attractive, the Somali guy. If there was, let's say if there was Somali Christians, the Somali guy would marry the Somali woman. He would not he would not marry any of those women. But the mother, if he converts to Islam, he's gonna say, I want a Pakistani. Somali, I want mixed race, I want this. Like, why is that?
I don't know, man. I think for me,
because I've seen that behavior like back in the day. I'm thinking, why don't they? Because I've seen Qur'an ones. Or from the Caribbean and who are Muslim, who are Indian, but they will never ever marry these women. Excuse me, I could be wrong here, but that's what I've noticed. In the Muslim community.
I mean, obviously within the Muslim community, like there are levels of racism too, in terms of like marriage. Because I think with reverts, like, their whole goal is to have like a halal union, you know, and just kind of get married quickly. And I think they're probably facing a lot of no in the community because it's like, oh, you're a new Muslim. We don't know if we want to give our daughter to you.
No, but ethnically speaking, even what I'm trying to say to you is, yeah, what I said before, if a Somali guy converted to Christianity, and let's say if there was the other way around, how many Christians would want to marry the new Christian who was Somali? But the Somali guy would be like this: I want a woman who's gonna come from the same ethnicity. Just like if you see an Indian Christian.
But how is he gonna find a Somali girl that he's Christian?
Unless
No,
she's
but I'm
unless you're
talking
Garland,
I'm
innit?
talking about the mentality.
Unless
No,
you're
I'm
Garland.
talking about the mentality would not
Oh,
change.
I got what you mean. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you had an Indian Christian, you could have an Indian Christian who says, "I want to marry someone that's from the same ethnic background as me, who's from this part and that." Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
There's
Because we're not brainwashed though. Like we want our own. Like that. That's why I'm saying, like from both the genders, like male and female, like we literally think that we're better. Like I don't know how to explain it without sounding.
No, but I even,
we
you know, it's even funny. I got a funny story to tell you, right? Yeah, you know, one time, yeah, some woman from Grenada, yeah, I was with my friend. She randomly came up to us at the bus stop. Yeah, I was talking to my friend, right? Yeah, in Somali. She was just curious. She just wanted to ask this question. She wanted this burning question. She asked, yeah, how come Somalidan, basically, right? Yeah, like how come they have big families? And she said the reason why she asked because I saw a Somali woman with 4 kids and she was pregnant and she was pushing the pram or the stroller, as you call it. I told her that we Somalis are very conservative, we're homogeneous, and we want to have big families and that, and and she was curious, but she was a nice lady anyway.
No, I don't know. Do you think it's gonna decline, especially in the West? You don't really see
In the
that
West.
nowadays. Like big families, isn't it?
No, but that's all demographics. Well, it's all demographics. Ethnic communities. Like me, I don't even want to. Who knows? I might get married in the future. But having children, it's expensive, man.
Fucking expensive.
Yeah, Mohammed, you saying you're a parent, you're valid.
3 kids, best.
3 kids, mashallah. Allah ya hadik. Come from a
But
parent's
it's,
point
you
of
know,
view.
if you think of how hard it's gonna be, you don't reach anything. You know, it's gotta get done with really. So you can't think of it too much at the same time. So it is what it is. You know, everything finds its way. You know.
If I was to have 5 boys,
The mic, man. What's going on, Rad?
Hello, can you hear me?
They'll give you. Go on.
Mahmoud Jude, if I were to have 5 boys, I probably would name them Sharmak, Abshir, Guri, Daya, Hiloli.
The Somali name.
Very Somali.
Yeah, the proper, the authentic.
Would you do that? Who would do that? Would you not do that now? Do you think that's a thing? Someone was saying, nah, I don't know. This argument came up a couple of months ago.
It depends on the name.
What's if you like the name?
What do you think of those names?
Not a big deal. I mean, if you know, knocked Aloshko Saras baby agree upon it, and you know, shouldn't be a problem really. I mean, with us it was I choose, she chose, and I chose again. Simple. So it's about a mutual agreement really. But then obviously there's names obviously that you'd be like, nah, I don't want this. So then arguments happen and
yeah, like for example, like.
But it depends who you married with and how your relationship is.
Jude, I believe that we should preserve our culture with our names. Yeah, but Somali parents would rather name their kid.
I know. Why are you always scared of the Somali culture not being put? Do you think the Somali culture is just getting modernized? Do you think? And again, do you think there's a diaspora culture? In general, I always see you bring this up here. You always bring this up, right? The Somali culture, we need to preserve it. Do you guys think the Somali culture is dying out?
Names and that we should like preserve it, like any other groups. Like, for example, why would a Somali parent name their kid Hamza instead of Hanad, instead of Khalid?
Hamza is a beautiful name, isn't it?
You want to hear something funny, Khalid?
Go on, sis.
I don't know if I should tell the story, but whatever, I'm going to tell it. So one of my friends, obviously pregnant, and she has the baby name, right? So she wants to name her son Noah. And I thought to myself, why won't she just name him Noah? You know, because that's how we say it, you know? But she was like, no, I'm going to call him Noah, blah, blah, blah. And this is what it's going to be on paper. But it might like, and I had this conversation eventually with her. I was like, but you know how like they like Christians and Jews use Noah, like Muslims use Noah. So it's like, that's kind of like, it doesn't make sense for you to use that name. You know, it's like Benjamin versus Benjamin. You know, or Dawood versus David.
I hear you, but isn't it the same name, just pronounced different? It's gonna be.
But I feel like I would never name my kid David. You know, like if I had a
I
kid,
know.
like I would name him Daoud. So it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if it's like obviously I'm not saying
James, would you name your kid Devontae?
the what?
Devontae. Would you name your kids Devontae?
No, what is that? That's
To
not
fit in.
Somali. Devontae?
Yeah, you know these middle names like you know how I feel sorry. You know how I feel sorry for the most Irish people. You know Tyrone is an Irish name as a county also in Ireland.
Are you
Imagine if you're
serious?
an Irish person and imagine if you're an Irish person come to from Ireland and your name is Tyrone. People would 99% would assume that you're black. You know that name, Tyrone.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Imagine if people started to use Sharmak, non-Somali
Yeah,
people.
but you see that name
people-
thing, yeah, sis, yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. I was just thinking about it right now. Isn't it just pronounced? I don't know. It's kind of
But Khaled, like
I'm thinking about it right now. You know, I was
Khaled, let me
thinking
give you
Una
like
and Noah.
like when I
Is
went
it really
to
that bad? Say if you call the kid Noah, hey, Mohammed Shita, is that really bad as well? No,
Yeah, like I said,
The other
it depends. It depends on how you see the society, how pressured you feel to name someone, after something that's more connected to the community. It's really up to you how confident you are in those names.
I don't know,
And
sis.
people are afraid of being criticized. Oh, why is she naming this? Why, but at the end of the day, it's how you feel about it. Because you're gonna be doing everything for the child. No one's gonna
But
raise them with you.
it's for the rest of your life, though. That's the child's name. I can hear where the sister's coming from. If you're gonna name your kid after
Yeah,
a
I mean,
Muslim name
that's what I said. You gotta be
but
certain, 100%
Noah,
certain.
I'm thinking, is Noah such a bad thing to call?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alles goed, rustig.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Alles gaat goed hier.
Yeah, goed met jou.
Yeah, man.
That's my Dutch. That's about it. Anyone that thinks I'm Dutch here, like that's about it. Anything else,
I was
nah.
like, what language was that?
I was like, nah, that's the only Dutch I know, man. Don't start speaking to me in Dutch, people, man. Ahmed, you weren't, so no.
There's another thing I wanna add up. What do you lot think of this incident happening in London where I live here? This was like a year ago. A Somali woman criticized the Somali guy. Yeah, he kicked off in town. Yeah, she criticized the. You know them old school.
Your
Somali
mic,
women?
man. I can't hear you.
Yeah. This old school Somali woman criticized this Somali girl. I don't think she knew her, right? Yeah, she told her, "Why do you have a tattoo and that?" She started attacking the Habariya. Have you seen that video on YouTube?
She attacked the Habya?
Yeah, because the Habariya said to her, yeah, of Somali, like something I can't remember. He said, "Why do you have a tattoo?" And that she attacked her.
Like physically?
Huh?
Wow. That's disturbing.
I haven't seen that.
What do you lot think of tattoos anyway, man? Because their tattoo shops are popping up these days.
Isn't it haram?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm seeing even I went to a halal meat
That's
shop.
what I don't know.
No, I was in a halal meat shop last week, yeah, and there was this Muslim guy. He had it like on his arm, yeah, had tattoo all over.
So I don't
Well,
know.
I don't know, brother. I don't know. But I wanted to go back to the name thing and the Somali culture. I wanted to give an example of my family. Like my sisters, they have like Somali names, and I have an Arabic name from the Quran as well. But I think a Somali name would be beautiful as well as the Arabic name. I don't see any difference in that. As long as it's not like like some bad name.
You say as long as you don't call your kid Noah.
Yeah, just call him Noah.
That's a joke.
Arabic, just call him Noah.
What's up, Ahmed? I've got nothing against Arabic names, but I just want to preserve my ethnic name, just to recognize if this.
There was no problem with that, though.
Which is perfectly fine.
Which is perfect. Even Islamically, it's perfectly fine. There is no. How would you say that? There is no like baraka in it. Like, or if you
Yeah,
give,
but you know,
let's say
seems weird.
The Muhammad guy will go to Jannah because of his name, and the other guy will go. It's not like that. It's just the only thing about names is that you don't give him a name that's for a bad name. For example, if I'm gonna call my kid Iblis, like just Satan, I'm gonna call him Satan. Those are the kinds of names that are bad.
Who be sick enough to do that, man? I would laugh if a Somali couple actually did that. Somali
even
people say things like, what the fuck?
even funny names, even names that are made
Oh,
fun
a
of.
funny name. You know, I found it. Who's heard of this Somali name as a funny name? This Adan guy, yeah, who was a reporter for the Channel 4 years ago. He went to Mogadishu, yeah, during 2006. He met this Somali guy. He said to him, "What's your name, right?" Yeah, he said to him, "My name is Duguf." Who's ever heard of that name, Duguf?
Duguf? No.
Look, no.
Duguf.
Is that nice?
Do you know the name Europe?
Europe.
Ahmed.
So, say that again, Europe.
Yeah, Europe. Do you know that?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
I've heard that name too. Yeah.
Yeah, Europe and Berlin and
I had a woman called Africa. Somali woman. No. MashaAllah. So I had an African woman called Somali woman called Africa, and I was like, hey. Her name's like Africa.
But some of our names too, like
There's even Kenya.
my
You know,
mother's
yeah.
name, sorry, I was going to say like some of our names that like we think are Somali might not also just be Somali. Like for example, my mother's name, like when I was going to Jerusalem, when I at the airport, whatever, they said that my mother's name is Hinda, and they said that that's Hebrew, and I was like, no,
our family
Somali.
member has that name too.
So
Yeah, but sometimes you have
What do
to
you think of
change
this name?
names used
What
in
do you think of
different
like
regions.
funny names? Like,
I have someone in my one of my forefathers, you know, in my bloodline is called Higgis. That's also I don't know what it means.
Higgis.
Higgis.
Nah, man. You know, if you go onto my community thing here on my page here, there's a list of Somali boy names, original
Yeah, I
Somali
saw
boy
it
names.
too, yeah.
You saw it in it.
Yeah,
It's
I saw
got a
it
big
there
list
too,
of
yeah.
Somali boy names in it. Yeah, original Somali boy names. But I haven't. You know, someone in the comment section told me, "Where's this female version?" I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on
Oh
a
yeah,
list
that's
from
what I
A
want
to
to
B.
say. Yeah, that's what I
All
want to say.
Somali names.
There was one thing that was further up in the video that I think it was Rad or Khalid that said it, like the fear of losing the Somali culture. And
Go ahead.
there's one thing that I'm seeing right now
Yeah.
is that the generation that is born here now, anywhere in the West, but I'm speaking about Holland right now because that's where I'm from. The generation here, there are two options. The thing is, it depends on how you've been raised. And if you're raised with, let's say, for example, like Somali culture, the religion, you're like with hug, like, well, you needed to do it. You had no choice. Some of the people, like, maybe it's a pressure for them. So when they get married, if they get married outside of the culture or get married within the culture with someone Somali as well, what they do is they lessen it, because one, it's walagu khasbaday, and secondly, is because they are in the West. So the culture here, the where you are is going in your way of raising your children. So it's going to be different from the thing. One of the things is the language.
I always said that, man. No, but then again, with the diaspora, look, you see all of us, Magaldo, Dundor, don't you think like there's a different type of Somali thing now? And I always say the identity crisis, like,
you know, wallahi, one time
because you are a product of your environment. The other night we were talking about it when the brother was talking about, you know, Habsi and all of this product of your environments. Isn't there a separate Somali diaspora culture?
Yeah, it is. If I had a conversation with my mother one time, and I said to her, you know, if you're honest, did you give me a real Somali upbringing, like, to be honest? And no, she didn't, and that's because of the environment. Like, if you're here, imagine you guys, imagine, like me, for example, I'm 23, I'm not raised the same. I don't have the same things as a 23-year-old in Somalia. We are very different. That's because of the environment. Even your parents cannot evade that. They need to adhere to the environmental like aspects of it. Like here, for example, school is very important. Academics is very important.
And Holland.
Language, work, all those kinds of things are. And in Somalia, there are other things that are important. So that's why our parents are raising us up with different ideas. The one thing that, of course, is culturally is the language, the religion, the way we behave. Those are the things that are culturally. But if we think about, for me, for example, I've been raised up like you're in the West. So these are the things that are different from our country. Let's take an example. Yeah, here, for example, the women are not the same as in Somalia. The men are not the same as in Somalia. Here they work together. In Somalia they don't. I don't know if they work together, but it's not as here. You know what I mean? So even the interaction between women and men is differently. So even in the smallest details, when you go to school, like how you're with girls in the class, even if you grow up in college, you are like adjusting to the environment you're in. That doesn't mean that you need to lose your culture at all. I'm just saying it's always different from Somalia itself.
What's the problem?
Yeah, I can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you.
The mic.
About Somali culture in the West and in Somalia. You're right on that. The Somali culture here and back home is not the same. But in Somalia, we talked about secularism. I think Somalia needs a big, massive reform. Back home.
Reform in what way?
You know what it is, yeah?
Basically reforming our language, our culture, the economy, everything. We need a Somali renaissance.
A renaissance.
But I think that'll all come when it comes to like the number one priority, right? Is safety. You can't do any of that.
100%. Without safety, you can't develop. 100%. But I think the thing is this, yeah. Sometimes.
But that's going to lead to another debate, man. I was just going to say certain places do have safety.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to say that. I just had to.
Yeah, but
that's a good point.
No, not in no disrespectful way. I'm not trying to take a shot, but say certain places do have kind of. Yeah, we're not all in the same sort of.
Yeah, and those places, of course, developing in other areas as well. But the thing is, for example, yeah, when we are here in Somali speakers or other YouTube platforms, when we speak about Somalia and how it should be made, how it should develop, I think the thing that we sometimes are forgetting is that a person that comes from there and a person that's watching from the outside is very different. And I'm not saying this because I'm not saying like to say to you guys, it's wrong that you're saying this or that. Of course, we should have ambition to have our country at the top. But I think sometimes we are forgetting that we are watching from the outside. Me, for example, I've never been to Somalia. I don't know how my only Somali perspective is the Somalis here. That's how I know how Somalis are. But further from that, I don't know anything.
Okay.
For example, if I would go back, I would go back and I would say, yo, guys, you need to do this and that and this and that and this. These people will look at me. I'm like, who the hell are you?
True.
Absolutely.
Would you say, you know how there's Adam privilege? Would you say that's the diaspora privilege?
I think
the diaspora privilege. I'm gonna have to do a stream on that still.
Yeah, but I think even
but do you blame us though? Do you blame us for wanting the best? Like because we were growing up, you're seeing this and seeing the potential, and then just seeing the carnage as well. Because a lot of people are fed up in it as well.
Of course,
what do you guys think of that?
Because Alhamdulillah, we have safety, we have education, free medical. We wish that for our brothers and sisters. Well, if we could, we want to give it to them. That's I think that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that the connection with our country is so strong that we want it, we want it for our brothers and sisters. But the thing that I think if we can get someone from there to explain to us how it is there, explain to us how the people are there, because how is it that the people there are so differently from the people from the West? While they speak the same language, they have the same culture, but they grew up somewhere differently, and that shows that environment has a very big impact of who we are. For example, someone
it's a product of our environment.
Yeah, let's take an example. Someone from Canada, a Somali from Canada can be different from a Somali born in Holland.
Hell yeah. Canadians are wild. I'm not gonna lie to you, Team Canada. Before you sis, a lot of Team Canada come in this place. Whew.
We're culture shock. There's some of us that are very cultured.
I don't know. I just had a mad culture shock. Sorry, if
good thing
that
about
is we're all different as well. Go ahead.
You know what's good thing? You know what's a good thing about our people, right? Yeah, Somalis. Yeah, how we help each other, right? Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. There used to be this Somali
Do
bus
we
driver.
really?
No, I'll give
Do
you
you
an
think we
example.
could do much better? I feel like
We
community-wise.
send billions of dollars back home.
I know in that aspect, but I'm saying in the diaspora, do you think that we should be doing more as community-wise?
Yes, of
I don't
course,
really
of
see
course.
that
We should do.
because
We
there's a
should
lot
do
of
more as a
fuckery in our
community.
communities, especially in the diaspora. I don't know.
I
That's
think,
true.
I think
Because
the
there's a
number
lot
one
of
thing.
enemy.
I think the number one thing that we need to do here in the West is to get love for our culture. That's the number one thing. You know, like I don't care if you don't believe in Islam. I don't care if you are, you know, let's say a feminist or whatever label you want to have. At the end of the day, you are a Somali. At the end of the day, you eat bris with moose with your hand. At the end of the day, it doesn't.
What's your thoughts on that, man? Because you know, we've met a lot of bro. I respect that. Yeah, I know I'm the same mentality, but the thing is, I draw the line is when I see Somali Islamophobes, because today's subject was about Muslim Islamophobes, and Ahmed, there is a point where some of the brothers and sisters make a nibig at Ayan and Wahana Semenian. It's like freedom must be. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, Dooms. Some of the panelists on this panel are, like I said, are a bit.
Me personally, me personally, always, and I always say, if people come with respect and trying to understand you, it doesn't matter what you believe. If you come with respect and trying to understand the other, then you can have any conversation without Let's say, for example, if someone comes with, he believes in something else, and he says to me, yo, and the conversation is about it. The conversation is about religion. Then of course he can come up with the things he thinks about religion, but in a respectful way, and I will do the same to him. But if we you are that, you are this, that's a problem. Because that's not even as human beings.
That is true. And usually those people that are like ex-Muslims or whatever you want to call it, they love to go to the media and talk all this crazy lies about Islam. You know what I mean? So it's very disrespectful. Nobody would care if you left, right?
Yeah, sis, this is the thing we try to show a lot of them, innit, yeah? But there was one time it's just, I'll speak to you, I'll tell you about this, I'll not even show you, innit, yeah? And it's just, you look at these brothers and sisters, and when stuff like this happens to any random Muslim family, and Christchurch, in a Dilio, my area, Somali, it's like, raw. And you're in Philly, that's how I look at some of these people. That's why I kind of stand morally. It's like, but should we treat them like any other Galo Kalatin? Is that how it is? Just because we're Somali, should we be like, but then that's the fact of Somali. No matter, like Ahmed's trying to say,
Khaled, like,
there's a bit of a... Go on, James. Let me see what James got to say. Sorry, Brad.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, when I think of Somali, Islam plays a big part in that.
It's
so
intertwined.
When I see a Somali who talks about the Prophet, peace be upon him, I'm not going to feel close. I'm not going to feel close to this individual because at that moment I'm like, okay, you're an other, and I don't know if that's right or wrong.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But
but what about also
disrespecting the religion in a disrespectful way? Of course, that person does not deserve respect. Even if I was a Christian or a Jew, it's the same. If you disrespect something that I believe in or something that I do with then you don't deserve respect. But I think it's about I'm talking about it's like when we talk about Somali people, sometimes we should not be like when we talk about those people that you're gonna put yourself apart from it because you're one of them.
Can I ask you a question though? Let's say like one of your Somali homeboys, decided to become Galo, like let's say Christian, right? And he has a baby and he invites you to his baby's baptism.
Yeah.
Would you go? Like, would you be cool with it?
No.
Why not?
He's your boy. But say if he's your boy.
He's your boy.
He's your boy. Say he's your Cody. Your best man at his wedding before he converted. Is it one of them
No,
ones?
I get what you're saying, and there's
Best
I'm
man
gonna
before you
say
can
this
vote.
again.
You
I
read
say this. I'm gonna say
time.
this. I'm gonna say this again. Religion is a private matter. As long as you don't disrespect other people's religions.
I would never say to him like, yeah, I hate you. You know, of course we can't come in a discussion, but it's not gonna be you know what I mean. And if he asks me to come to his baptism, I would say, you know, for my personal reasons, I don't want to go there. And if he is a smart thinking human being, he would say, you know what, I respect you for it. I will come to his house.
Ahmed, Walala, yeah, I totally agree with you. But this is the problem with the older generation with Somali, and I don't know about the current generation. If you tell a Somali person, if this Somali person is a Christian or Waqist, one of those two, and he's respectful of Islam, but he's a private person, he believes in what he believes. I believe that's between him and Ilahi. And I've got no right to tell him if his beliefs are wrong or not, as long as he doesn't disrespect Inta and Dakanka Somaliga. But why can't our parents generation would be able, if you were to tell them today's generation of my grandparents, the first thing that our grandparents or our parents, if they were born outside of Somalia, they'll be like, yeah, they probably would be shocked.
No, would you think so? Because there was a lot of Gala when they grew up. Do you know how many prevalent? Have you ever heard of SYO?
And I think even
the other day, there was a lot of man that was just like Mariam Musa. There was a lot of Somali Gala, all prevalent in government. You'd be surprised.
No, but even if you think about, you know, the Somali people, for the majority, of course, they are Muslims. So a lot of them, you know, grew up with Muslims around them, yeah. And you know, the behavior of the human being is that whenever something changes in the environment that they are used to, of course, it's going to be weird for them. We are not like that because we grew up in an environment that's so diverse that we are used
we got a Canadian right now, Ridley Ahmed, that sometimes flip flops. Ridley, what are you saying? I think you came in and I don't know this conversation. You came in at the right time.
He's the Canadian lion.
I don't know. Sometimes he says I'm part of the gang. Yo, is he there? Is he there? Yo, Rid. What's going on with his mate? But carry on, Ahmed.
So yeah, and I think you know what the thing is as well is the thing here is, you know, Hagan in the West, you know, the Somali people, they are very close. They became close to each other because of we are with so few, so we appreciate each other.
Mm-hmm.
So here, for example, Hagan, Qabil, and all those other things is not a strong sentiment. It doesn't have a strong sentiment as in in Somalia. For example,
Are you sure? Because I went back home. I think back home is different. I think here's I've seen more Qabilism here in the West. I don't know in Canada. Is it like that in Canada, sis?
I think that like if someone's ignorant, it doesn't matter what location they're at.
Yeah.
Yo, about closeness, yeah. This would sound like weird to a white person if you told me, or a middle person.
Yeah.
As this is not how that, you know, when we first moved into this Adan area, we were the only Somali family in this Adan area, but now it's mixed with Somali families and Asians. One time, the Somali bus driver used to go past our house.
Tell him again, right?
Yeah, the Somali bus driver used to go past our house every day, and one day he was on his break. And we didn't even know this guy yet, but we all say salam to him. Hello?
Of course, man. You're Somali. You don't do that. Hold up, let me ask you
No,
a
but
question. Do Somalis celebrate Christmas?
No. I'm talking about a story about Christmas.
You celebrate Christmas.
Problem with the older generation with Somali, and I don't
Hello, who's got that background noise? Yo, Ridley, come off the YouTube. I think Ridley. And is this where you're hello?
Yeah, I just want to finish off what I was about to say, bro. But the thing is about our people, about closeness and Dakan. You said at the time in the diaspora we are few. But I'll tell this story from back in the day. We had a new Somali family in this block, and there was a Somali bus driver who was religious. He used to always say salam to him, but we didn't know him. But he used to always go past the house. One day, he knocked on our door. He said, "Salam alaikum." He's like, "Can I come in your house?" Salada and tukada. And I say, "Ha, swagal guriga, salada no tuko."
Yeah.
But I think we're the only ethnic group that would allow that. What would you do if you lot were in that situation?
If you would come to my door to pray.
No, if you have a bus driver, because I don't think we don't have this bus driver anymore. But let's say if he was the only Somali in this Harvard and he sees you every day, he sees where you live and that you're near to the bus stop. But the bus driver knocks on your door one day. He says, "Salaam alaikum, I'm on my lunch break and the bus is parked there. Can I pray in your house quickly?" How would you react? Because most white people, middle people, are what? What? You can't come
No,
to my
he's a
house.
Muslim. Is he a Muslim?
Huh?
Is he a Muslim? He said, "Can I come pray?"
No, and it was Somali. I'm saying there used to be this bus driver in Harvard, and he was Somali when we first moved in. We were the only Somali family in this area.
So he stopped off and he said, "Can I pray in your house?"
Yeah, it was because our house is near the bus stop. He said, "Can I pray in your house?" and that because he was on his break.
Yeah, but
that's no problem. Come on, man. That's Somali. Yeah,
No,
come on.
I'm thinking we're the only. I'm trying to say we're probably the only ethnicity that would like. Most ethnicities would be like, if our population was 100 million,
yeah, but Red, even if you think about it,
come on, man.
Even if you think about it, he came. Let's say, for example, he came to my door and he knew I'm Somali. The whole reason why he came knocking on my door is because I'm Somali.
Oh yeah, come
he
on.
is expecting from me to
And
help.
that's a lot of yeah, come on.
What I'm trying to say to you is, most Adam people would say to you, most Adam people would say to you and me, saying, "Don't be like this," because I've had this before. They'll say to me, "You don't know this guy. You don't know this guy."
Yeah, but of course, that's because it's a.
Is it because you're thinking? Let's talk about being as well. Does the being play a role in this?
Of course, I'm back on you, man. If a Muslim guy, bus driver that I see that lives in my house here, and the boss I see him, obviously guriga bus kan arkaya yani سمعتوا صلاة دوني تذكرها obviously كم صلاة صوتك هنا موجود لاد حاسس come on man طيب أحمد come through.
Yeah, I have a funny story. Back in I think I don't know when it was. I think it was in 2005 or 3. We had a big in especially where I live. We had a lot of Somali coming to where we lived. So one day I was at the mall, and some guy, he was asking the Somali people there for my mom's name. So he was asking people, "Yo, do you know this woman?" These people said, yeah, we know her." And then and then he started asking, but they didn't know where we lived. And so then he asked me, and I was a young guy. I think I was maybe 9 or 10. So he asked me, and he said, "Yo, do you know this name?" And then I said, "Yeah, that's my mother." And okay. Then he said, I need to speak to your mom. I said, "All right, come with me." If I think about it now, I wouldn't have done it if I was this age, because it's weird to bring a guy to my house. But I just did it back then. So I took him to my mom's house. He was, I think, like maybe, let's say he was 18. He just came in the country. So he spoke to my mom. And then what basically happened is that when he came to the place that we lived, the people that sent him, they said to him, "Search for this woman there." Like he was someone from the same city as my mom.
Same tribe.
From the
yes, عد واعي man. Come on, حشوني man. Why you go around the bush, man? عد واعي no, عد له.
That's how our people do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come on, man. عد له واعي.
So our people, that's the beauty of it. That's how we help, especially here in the West. That's how we help each other. My mom has friends my mom is from the south. Her best friend is from the north, from my father's city as well. They're best friends with each other. My mom met my dad through that friend here in Holland. So that's how people get with each other in the West.
I hear you. I hear you, man.
So I think
but it was
one thing I'm wishing for this generation is to get a love for our culture. That's what I'm getting right now.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I didn't care about it as much as I do now. But
now it's prevalent.
Yeah, now especially the language, the culture.
You know what? Yeah, funny enough, you're talking about this. Yeah, there's a madness going on Instagram, Twitter. I hope you guys have seen this. There's what's it called? There's a film coming out called Mogadishu. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this. Yeah, it's a film called Mogadishu, and it's coming out soon. You heard of it? It's a Chinese Korean. I don't know what it is.
It's a Korean movie. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
So there's no Somali actors. There's no. I'm gonna wait to see the film. I'm gonna watch it myself. But apparently, there's no Somali actors. There's none of this. There's a lot of outrage, a lot of backlash. But it's in Korean. Is the film gonna be in Korean?
Yeah,
guys,
it's Korean.
I need to go. Korean. I need to go. I'm gonna work tomorrow, so I'll see you guys.
I'm gonna run it for another 15 more minutes, man. Say 9, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming
No,
through.
but
Big
we're
up, big up.
Ahmed.
But
Take
so
it
what's
all
you
on.
guys' thoughts on it? Rids, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Why is that? Yo.
Well, why is it? Why is it? Because they're profiting of the suffering of the Somali people. Like about half, up to half, to 500,000 up to 1 million of our people have died, and you're gonna make a film based on the suffering of our country and that, and you're gonna portray a more negative image of our country. And the funny thing is, it's not even filmed. You know about the film, you know Black Hawk Down and this new film. They both got in common is both of them starred non-Somali actors, and second of all, it's not even filmed in Somalia. Both those films have been filmed in Morocco.
But fam, why are you using that?
Ahmed, God, Ahmed Usman killed me right now. He said the Somali, but I see that. Yo, bad boy. Carry on, Ritz. Come through.
No, fam. It's not even about the bullshit.
I'm laughing at this statement. I'm not laughing at the thing. I'm just laughing at the statement. Carry on, Ritz. Hello? Yo.
Hello, Ritz.
You guys hear me?
Okay, now carry on. You paused. Go on.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is like, fam, don't worry about all of that bullshit, bro. Focus on your own people and your development, man.
Of course. My solution is right. Yeah, why am I outraged? Is because they're portraying a negative image of Dhaka Somali. They're just like any other ethnic group. If you understand where I'm coming from, my solution is to combat this. Is to invest heavily in. We should invest in our own film industry and our media. Like, for example,
you're saying own your own content.
No, basically to portray, like, for example, like, why is it that Arabs, for example, have got Al Jazeera, their news network, and millions of people watch Al Jazeera and they see a different picture. You got Press TV, which is Iranian, English-speaking Iranian channel.
So you got BBC,
BBC. We've got like SNTV.
Hey, don't worry, man. We've got Somali speakers, man. Come on, hit up the like, hit up the subscribe. We're there. What do you mean, man? Hit man up, man.
You know what we should do?
Welcome,
My advice is
that's what I'm saying. Create your own news now. And you just create the own news. That's what you gotta do, fam. You gotta look at everything and just put it out there. Pump out Somali. Like you're saying, like, that's what I'm saying. That's one of my
my point is, about this, you know Tracy Beaker. I used to watch it back in the day when I was younger. My sister used to watch it as well.
Yeah, so you said you told us this story, man. Come on. Fuck that, man. I don't want to hear this. No, guys, man. Allow it.
No, but the actor. I'm talking about Somali actors.
Chill, man. We don't care about that right now, man.
I'm talking about portrayal. Like, I'm talking about in general. Like,
relax.
Go ahead.
What's our solution to help the Somali nation? You know what I mean? Forget about the other groups and all that.
Hey, we'll forget about that. Hey, solutions.
Going into Tracy Beaker, you know, man. Come on, man. Too old to be talking about Tracy Beaker.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. I'm just using that as an example. Forget it. My language.
Bad example, man.
But yeah, really, what were you saying?
Direct.
I told you, let's look for a solution, right? You, me, are both patriots. You're not. I'm a nationalist. You're a nationalist too, right? Like, are you what? Nationalism before religion? All right.
No, I'm an ethnocentric.
Listen,
let's forget labels. Forget labels.
That's Somali on here. Listen.
All I'm gonna say is, all I'm gonna say is,
we got the horn to fix. That's it. We gotta heal the horn.
I just want to finish this off. I'm outraged about the film is that I think we should like combat this negative portrayal, and I believe that we should like either write a letter to the people, and lastly we should invest money because
they spent millions on this. They spent millions in this film, bro.
It doesn't matter about millions. I'm not talking about.
So my new idea, stop.
I agree with you, but at the same time, it's like,
online or wherever we got. I believe that we should challenge these stereotypes.
No, but Rad, listen. I agree with you, but at the same time, let's not get emotional. Let's get economic.
I'm not getting emotional. Who said I'm getting emotional?
We got food security.
Bro, look, Black Hawk Down, Captain Phillips. What are you gonna do? You're gonna stop the number 3? You can, but you're gonna act like bitches. Somalis are not bitches. Let's fix our country. That's
the worst one. There's one that you know.
Yeah, image, bro. We're not
gonna
change
really James, to me, forget about movies. You know, for example, Twitter, for example, like, what would you do with Twitter even though we use it and that. Twitter insulted that country, Nigeria, for example. They banned it.
See, why are you talking about another country, bro? Let's talk about
I'm not talking about another country. This is any other ethnic group here. I'm just saying to you. I'm just telling you, yeah, like any people, you don't have to be emotional or not, yeah, or insulted. You can be insulted, yeah. I'm just telling you that movie insulted our people. The movie insulted our people. I'm not getting emotional at all.
Even then, so what you do about Black Hawk Down? Even me, I'm with you. It is assaulting our people because
we can't do nothing about it. But my advice is to raise awareness, debate,
The
and
worst
that.
one is, have you ever watched Eye in the Sky? That's a disgusting one. Have you watched that one?
What the hell are you talking about? What the hell is Eye in the Sky? I've never heard of it.
What's that? This the way they portray you don't even watch Eye in the Sky. I'm a movie man. Watch Eye in the Sky. Yeah, and until you're Somali, the way it's fucked in Kenya. Me and Bekuka and the drone film. Have you seen that?
Hold up, I came late. Yo, let me ask you guys, Ryan and Somali speakers, what do you guys think about that Muslim attack? Is that a hate attack, a terrorist attack, or both?
What happened in Canada? I've heard about it. Like, what city did it happen? That Muslim family that
London, Ontario.
London,
Yeah,
Ontario.
I think really to answer that question, I think both, all of the above, my brother. Every single thing that you said, all in one.
Yeah, well, like me personally.
But Canada with the Muslim population, is it like UK where there's big problems, or Maya, Islamophobia?
Is that a question I can answer with no interruption? Okay, so basically, there is racism. Me personally, I didn't get any that much because I already was prepared for it. I was knowledgeable since I was a kid. But I'm not shocked because in the major cities, it's very liberal. The country's laws and way, but in the countryside, it's not. You know what I mean? Canadians think just like the same way they think in North England, Scotland area, like. They don't fuck with color, but the colored people out here are the Indians and the Chinese. Those are the ones because they're overpopulating, right? Canada has the lowest birth rate in the world, the lowest, the most aging population in the world, basically the oldest people, and the lowest birth rates at the same time. And they're getting 500,000 immigrants a year, a little under. So look at it now, a bunch of Indians and Chinese. By 2050. The first prime minister in the Western world that's of foreign background will be from Canada. He'll be Canadian. Like basically Indian will be the prime minister of Canada, not England, not any country in Europe, not in the United States, in Canada. That's where you're gonna see it. That's how much
but Ridley, your country, right? Yeah, Canada. If this happened in UK, because there's a lot of racial tension, like because English people left Brexit because of mass immigration. But how come in Canada? No, but Canada, this one I understand.
Forget, because I understand what you're trying to say.
In America, you got a lot of outrage, and UK, but Canada, for some reason.
Yo, I think the use connection call.
Hello, yeah, Karen Ridley.
No, Rad, go ahead, bro.
I just wanted to finish off here. In Canada, how come there's no racial tension in that? Because if this happened in UK, right here, 500,000 people, times that out within 10 years, 500,000. I'm thinking, on Adam, people not pissed off, especially the ones that live in places like Nova Scotia or
Brunswick. Adam
Yo,
but in America.
Khaled, hold up.
Yeah.
What's Easton talking about? What topic were we talking about before? Like, really don't.
You're saying no, Rad. 1 second, Rad, man. You're almost, man. Relax, man. Jump off the. Yeah, listen. Like we had a conversation. I think she's talking about the bit where you saying, Khalid, do you think it's an attack? And then you were like, nah, person. And then my man just come with some next question, innit? But carry on. You're about to say something.
Fan. That attack, wallahi, let me tell you, you heard it here. Go check the other vids. I told you, World War II is 2030. You know what I mean? It's gonna be China, Iran, probably Russia, depending what it is, going to war against the West. The reason why China can't go, but forget that topic. I'm saying the race attack and all this. it's gonna create a disbalance. The Adans do not like the Muslims because the Muslims are alphas too, and they do the thing. That's the situation. You can't
I
complain
don't think
when the
so.
people that let me finish. Let me finish. You can't complain. The
Okay.
people that are empowered, the people that are empowered are botting you. Because today, right now, let someone build a church in Somalia. Let someone build a church in Saudi, Iran, Pakistan. Oh, you see, same thing. We go in the West, we build our mosque, we do this, we live here. I don't care. I'm pro Muslim when it comes to them. I'm pro Muslim always, but I understand the white man. I don't. I'm not a. You see, he said, I'm not a victim. You know, fuck you, because I can kill you too. A lot of times, go to the certain development. But long story short, there's no excuse. They hate is they hate. They hate Muslims. Let's get real with it. Don't complain about it. It's the liberals that are
No,
complaining
but
about it.
really, James, it's not just
Go ahead,
Muslims, but it's immigrants in
talk. They
general.
kill Muslims. Why are you shocked? It's Adan. It's not the police. It's
I
not.
don't
It's a
listen. I
terrorist
think
attack.
yeah, it was. They try to say they try to label it as something else, but boy, it is what it is.
So, but
But
exactly, it is what it is. But that's what
what
I
can
said.
you do these days
Muslims
in
can't
media?
complain because we do this too. We taught these niggas this type of thing. Like when you don't like someone, do this white man. Let me finish. This white man was a sexless man. Never got pussy.
Nah.
Was active. Looked like a nerd. He got
Yeah.
none. He got my. He seen a Muslim family. He was, he was on them Reddit pages. He did what he did. Boom, he ran them over. He's a fag. He's a bitch. He should die. But look at it. And let me. This is the big aspect. It might hurt a lot of people's feelings, but the Adan will never prosecute the Adan like a slave. Treat him like no. He's gonna give him the respect of a fair trial. You know why? Because he's Adan. Poliska wa Adan. You know, the other police were Adan. The judge were Adan. Adan. You know what I mean? Same thing with Somalis. Somali could kill a non-Somali, even outside the Horn of Africa. What are you gonna do? You're gonna prosecute Somali like, oh no, he's Muslim, he's gonna get the right judge. No, come on, nigga. Put the Somali first. Same thing. That's how it is. Even though he's wrong, he's a piece of shit. He should die. He's a rotten faggot. He killed the whole family for no reason. But guess what? Adan's gonna help Adan. Don't ever look at it like that. Use your brain. Help your own first. Life is rough, but I said it. Like my dad used to tell me, I never used to see the lion complain. Yeah, I never seen the hyena complain.
Jeez. You
You
said
know what I
man
mean?
said the lion never complain. He said he not complain. No way. I like that, Ridley. I like that. You hear me? AK Ridley's quote. The lion does not complain. Gang, preach, my brother. Drop it.
Yes,
No,
Ridley.
I'm just saying in general. Rather than we should only care for the tragedies of our people. And any other tragedy, we get it. But why do Somalis, if they sympathize, that's okay. Us, the nationalists, we stick together. Stop the Salafism. You know, Islam is us, yes, we own it, but Somali national, well, Dunni, use Somali words, Somali, like, you know what I mean? We can easily fix our people. The problem is, we're disunited. We use tribalism, you know? That's our enemy. And then plus, we like to use other people. I wish Ismail was here. He would say a lot of it too. I know Rad too. Rad is a good one, but Rad has still an anti-woman philosophy that still can be understood. So that's the issue.
How do I have an anti-woman philosophy, James? I'm not an anti-woman. I just speak the truth. My views are
I
strong.
don't want to. We're gonna train him out of that, man. We don't give hope. Rad.
You know what? Yeah, you know, Ridley James. You know what we should do? Somali's essence. I think you should come down to Makhayada. We should do a live broadcast, and we should have a live discussion and bring everybody.
That's true.
But
That's
fuck that, man. I don't want to do that.
Old
Man.
man,
We're
you
not,
know?
bro.
I've
We're
been in that
online,
place
bro.
too.
What the fuck you wanna go Makhayif for? You're online,
So
bro.
you're
Don't
afraid.
say that halwa.
So you're afraid
You
to
say
do a
you wanna
live
eat
stream in
halwa?
public.
Live stream. Well, I'll do videos in the public, man.
You know,
The only
what about in a
YouTuber that does a
restaurant?
video in the middle of the fucking park in central London, man. What the fuck else do you want me to do? How more public can you get?
Yo, Somali speakers, you're real shit. You're up to you. You're good. You're solid. You do the perfect video and you held yourself down. Rap, please don't do that. Because even then, the man had you. You could have had you on
I'm
video.
not trying to talk to all the y'all. I'm not trying to talk to all the y'all. They got some old ass mentality, man. The
Come
man, they
on,
need to
Rap.
bounce
Don't
out.
do that,
Come
nigga.
on.
Don't
Don't do that. Don't do
No,
that,
it's
bro.
not. I'm
Don't
just
do
telling you,
that, bro.
having.
Furthermore,
No,
I'm
it's
putting
not
on my
live
camera. Don't
stream.
do
You're
that,
already
man.
Eastern,
Don't play around with us, man.
Howdy.
Come on. Rids, what's going on, my brother?
You know what? Yeah, watch Khaled, if I see you again next time, I'm gonna do this on your camera. You pissed me off. I'm gonna stuff halloed in your throat, man. Then we'll see.
You know, Ridley came to the park, you know.
No, he's
Rad. I beg you, switch
He's
on your
from
cameras.
Canada.
Come on, man. Switch on your camera with everyone. Let everyone see who Rad is, the man behind the face. He's a funny character. If you go on the park, I'm going to take a picture of you and put you on the camera, you know that. No, I'm joking.
My identity's secret, man.
Man said, yo, this guy looks like Inspector Gadget with fucking afro. I'm done.
Bro.
Inspector Gadget. Come on, he was a guy. He was a character.
February, March. Man, O's online live. Nigga. Sam, I don't know who this is. We don't know nothing out here. Online, anybody's everybody.
Man said Inspector Gadget. I got called a Sri Lankan, so you know, I'm gonna go Sri Lanka, keep back my Sri Lankan ancestors. Again, I'm gonna travel the East Coast that way.
You're Somali, man. You're 100% Kushutik. 100% Kushutik. 100%.
Up to right, what you say?
No, man. It's cool off time. Hey, well, go on, talk to me, Ridley. What are you saying, man? The Exodus plan. We need to chat about the Exodus plan.
Exodus plan. Yeah, Ridley. What's your solution? What's your solution to our dilemma in the diaspora?
You have to say that again. I barely heard that.
You said the dilemma.
What's your solution to our dilemma problems in the diaspora?
Say dilemma, man. What the fuck's wrong with you? What's a dilemma, bro? Whoa,
you know.
You got a fan, Ridley. You say, jeez, you're both in Canada. You're the same ages. What the other hand? You hear me? If they give you a big thumbs up. Yeah, in the car. Yeah. MashaAllah. Allah yahdi. Look at that qasal. Yeah, he's a happy man tonight. Or this evening. I don't know what time it is in Canada. So I want to big up all the Canadian sister Dooms.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. I can hear you, bro.
It's 6:32. 6:32.
A big up all the Canadians. Well, like Sister Doom came through. Ridley came through. I got a lot of love from, the North Americans. You gave me a shout out to my North American Somalis, man. And like personal shout out from SS, the ones. Ko English ko downtown. That man I like him.
I want that guy to come on again, man, from South Africa, man. He was interesting.
He's sleeping these times, man. They're a couple of hours ahead of us. But listen, on that note, Oslo, we're gonna chill out in the background. We're gonna come back soon. It's been 3 hours. We broke down the subject, hit up the like button, hit up the subscribe button. You already know SS family. You get me?
If you're gonna end the live stream, make sure all of you salat